Party's on Senna versus McLean. Step forward, please.
37-year-old Deborah Sena is suing 39-year-old Debbie McLean. Deborah charges that Ms. McLean failed to honor an agreement to enter her daughter Christina in a beauty pageant. Debbie McLean says there was no arrangement. The money was for a sponsorship.
Order, all rise. Quiet in the courtroom, please. Yeah, this is case number 237 on the calendar in the matter of Senna versus McLean. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Have a seat, please.
Let me see if I understand this complaint. Miss Senna, you have a young daughter.
Yes, I do.
This is your daughter, Miss McLean.
Yes, ma'am.
Your daughter had been involved in modeling as a younger child, and probably even today. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
According to your complaint, Miss Senna, don't look at your papers. Look at me. According to your complaint, you two ladies became acquainted. You were approached by the defendant, asked if you would like to sponsor her daughter in an upcoming beauty pageant. Is that right?
Yes.
And what was the sponsorship cost?
Well, I guess the sponsorship was, I asked her, she said $185.
So that's what it cost to
Yes,
sponsor.
ma'am.
And what else did she say to you?
That she would put my daughter in a beauty pageant that she was running, that she was having, and she would be able to get my daughter into another beauty pageant if she was to get into this first one, which was at the Fallbrook Community Center.
So according to you, you had an agreement with her that if you sponsored her daughter at the cost of $185, she would make sure that your daughter would be in a beauty pageant.
Yes.
And that's why you sponsored her.
Yes.
And you say,
And I say, yes, she did sponsor my daughter. My daughter had gone to her. She was babysitting for her at the time. And she sponsored my daughter to be in a beauty pageant. My daughter did go into the beauty pageant. She won the beauty pageant. At about 2 months later, I did tell her I was going to have a preliminary pageant for another state pageant, and that I would in turn let her daughter go into the pageant at no cost. But at the time my daughter had won this one, we didn't even know we were going to have a beauty pageant. At the time I was supposed to have the beauty pageant, I didn't have it. My mother's mother, my grandmother, had died, and I couldn't have the pageant, and I had to go to Kentucky for the funeral, so I didn't.
so there was never another pageant which this lovely little girl in purple could participate.
Deborah Sena had called me quite a few times and said that once she found out I was not going to have the Fallbrook pageant, said that I promised her. I said, I told you your daughter could be at a pageant at no cost, and I told her that I would just put her daughter in the state pageant with no.
So there was some sort of an understanding that her daughter was going to be in a beauty pageant with your assistance.
Not at the time of her sponsorship. But that was not a gift. That was a gift to Casey. It was 2 months later. I told her I would, since she did sponsor Casey, I would put her daughter in a pageant. But that was not a stipulation.
That's not true, Your Honor.
I want to know at the time that you. By the way, I assume you have proof of this $185.
Yes,
you have a
ma'am.
cancel check?
Yes.
Well, then could you tell me why you're suing her for $300 and some odd dollars?
Well, $185 was for the
Right.
check, and then $100 for my daughter. And
$100 for your daughter for what?
just because my daughter talked about this pageant. Her daughter, Casey, came to my house and babysat and had my daughter all pumped up for this pageant. She had my daughter walking with books on her head, getting her ready and telling her what to do for this pageant. She talked about it to her friends. She was heartbroken about this.
So it's for sort of punitive damages that you're asking money for?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And you're countersuing her for $2,500 for some nonsense because you say she harassed you.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, how did she harass you?
She would call my house repeatedly, sometimes 3-4 times a day. She would swear. The swearing was unbelievable. She came into my place of employment, went to my boss, stated facts that weren't true.
Like what? Were you there?
Yes, ma'am.
What did she say?
She said that I was a bitch and I was a whore, and that I had no reasonable reason to be a mother, and that I owed her money, and that Ron, my boss, should get the money from me. And she would
Does
call
that
my
sound
house.
familiar?
No, absolutely not, Your Honor. That is a big lie. That is a big lie.
You,
Your Honor. Well, the things on the phone, she repeatedly called me. She told me I was a whore just like my mother. Called me an F and B.
Yeah.
And I've been taught to give adults respect, but I expect respect from them. And it's something me and my mother have not been getting from her.
did you make those statements to this
No,
young
ma'am,
lady?
I did not. I called, and Casey told me on the telephone, I cannot talk to you about this.
Why didn't, are you in a business?
I have a business, Tony's Masonry. It's my husband's business.
When you sponsored someone,
Yes.
their name appears on a program or something. Do you have that program?
I never got a program, ma'am.
Do you have it?
I don't have a program. It happened a year and a half ago. We recently moved 5 months ago. But I do have a copy of a normal sponsorship agreement saying that there was no refunds are available.
Just a second. That's not what I'm asking you. I asked you one thing. I asked you for apples. You gave me mashed potatoes.
I'm sorry.
Okay? What I asked you is, I assume, put it down. I assume that if your daughter is in the pageant industry, that you keep a scrapbook. And I assume that you keep all the memorabilia from all of her pageants. That only sounds like common sense to me. Put your hand down. I'm really smart. So I assume you have all of the books from your daughter's pageant.
5 months ago we moved and I told Casey to get rid of all of that stuff she was collecting.
How many pageants have you been in?
Around 15.
That's not a lot to keep. Especially one that you won. Do you understand what I mean? Do you understand what I mean?
I
Especially a
understand.
pageant that you won, you don't get rid of. You keep this, but you keep the crown, but you don't keep the program.
Right.
That doesn't sound logical to me. Why didn't you pay for this $185 yourself?
I didn't even start this process. Casey went to Deborah and asked for a sponsorship.
Did you initially have the conversation with her?
Yes, I did.
When?
One time I was babysitting for her daughter.
And what did you say to her?
I said, Debbie, I'm entering a beauty pageant, and if I would like to be in it, I have to pay for it myself or figure out a sponsorship to go into the pageant. So I asked Debbie, since I was babysitting her daughter, if she would sponsor me. And not at that time, I said that she could be in a beauty pageant.
And what did she say?
She said she'd love to. And it was out of her business, too.
She said she would love to.
Right.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I really wish Debbie Sinha would shut up.
You know what?
she's-
That's respect.
Well, you don't give me respect, Debbie.
You don't deserve it.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. 37-year-old Deborah Sena is suing 39-year-old Debbie McClain over a beauty pageant which her daughter Christina was to enter. Debbie McClain says she was paying for her daughter Casey's sponsorship, not for Deborah's daughter Christina to be in another pageant.
So when did she have a conversation with your mother?
I believe she had a conversation with my mother on the phone, seeing if it was fine, see if I asked Debbie, and then we went to her house to pick up the check.
Together.
Yes.
Does that sound right to you?
Your Honor,
Miss Sena, look
No.
at me.
does not.
She did not speak to you first
No, she did
about
not.
it?
No, she did not. I spoke to her mother on the telephone. We were talking about sponsoring. One was contingent to the other.
No, that's not what I asked you, Miss Sena.
And I'm sorry.
This young lady says that she asked you first to be her sponsor.
No, she did not. Her mother and I spoke about it on the telephone while I talked to her mother about having her daughter babysit for me. That's how that happened.
Okay, we don't have to take very long with this. Giving your story the best possible scenario. Okay, your story. You agreed to sponsor her, and she agreed that in the future, sometime in the future, your daughter was going to be in a pageant that she was going to run.
No, ma'am.
No, yes, that's exactly what happened. It wasn't the same pageant, it was a second pageant.
It was the Fabric pageant.
It was another pageant that never took place. Is that correct?
Right.
All right. So the other pageant never took place, and therefore she could not fulfill that part of even assuming your agreement unless you can establish to my satisfaction that it was owing to her fault and her fault alone, her negligence, that that second pageant didn't take place. You're out $185.
If
You sponsored her daughter. Now, I'm not 100% satisfied that both of these young ladies telling me the truth. And that includes you. You understand me?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Because as sweet and as adorable as you look, I think you're a pretty good actress. That's because I have daughters.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So I know daughters can be pretty good actresses. But Miss Sania, I know your daughter is disappointed. I know she's unhappy, but you didn't have a writing with this lady that one was contingent on the other.
I have a witness that heard her say this in my house when I presented the check to her.
Oh, you do?
Yes, I do, ma'am. She's
I'd
right
like
here.
to hear the witness.
My friend's name is Maria.
Maria, you step up here. Now, Maria what?
She came over to
No, Maria what? Your
Maria
last name.
Cazares. Cazares? Your Honor, she came to Deborah's house, and we had just gotten there, and
Who's we?
me and Deborah, and she came over, and her daughter came in the house, and she says her daughter and Christina went outside to look at the pool, and she said Deborah gave her the check, and Debbie said, okay, and this is for you're sponsoring my daughter, and in return, I will put Christina in the Fallbrook pageant.
Are you telling me that she said, in return, are those the words, listen to me, are those specifically the words that you remember as you stand here under oath? You remember her saying to you, and in return, I will put your daughter?
Yes,
Maria.
I do, Your Honor.
What makes you remember that so vividly, madam?
Because it was a big thing with Christina. She was telling everybody. She was,
I didn't ask you why it was important to the child. I asked you, what makes it so clear in your mind that you can stand here today under oath and you tell me that you specifically remember her using the words, in return for?
because I remember her saying that
And how long ago was this?
in May.
Of this year?
Yep. Not this year, 96.
I'm not sure whether I believe that. In any
Okay.
event, I think that this is a sad situation. Did you write a business check for this $185?
Yes, I did, ma'am. Your Honor,
Yeah,
may I say something, please?
sure.
When Deborah came into my home and Maria heard her, Deborah the kids were in the backyard, and she came in the house, and she took my check so fast, and she did say she's going to, in return, put my daughter into her beauty pageant.
Yep, she didn't have a beauty
And she
pageant.
took out.
Just
Yes,
a
she
second.
didn't.
She didn't have one. Did she have a beauty pageant that she didn't put your daughter in?
No, but that's why I did the
No,
sponsoring.
but just a second. Did she have a beauty pageant that
No.
she didn't put your daughter in?
No. And that's why I did it.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Her daughter is one of the biggest brats I've ever known in my life.
She's a brat. Look at you.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. 37-year-old Deborah Sena is suing 39-year-old Debbie McLean. Deborah charges that Ms. McLean failed to honor an agreement to enter her daughter Christina in a beauty pageant. Debbie McLean says there was no arrangement. The money was for a sponsorship.
Did she have a beauty pageant that she didn't put your daughter in?
No. And I really feel really taken, and I'm sorry that it had to be this way, because I just wouldn't be here if I didn't feel that I was, I wouldn't be...
Taken.
Right.
You think that Miss Sania feels as if she was taken? Miss McLean?
I believe she feels like she was taken.
Okay. Now, she feels as if she was taken because she was led to believe by you, led to believe that her little girl was going to have an opportunity to be in a beauty pageant. That's correct?
That's
that
what
correct?
she believes, yes, ma'am.
Is that correct? Okay. And you did not fulfill that part of the agreement because you say your grandmother died.
It wasn't a part of the agreement at the time of the sponsorship.
Let us assume she believed that based upon everything, that was why she was giving you $185.
That's what she believes, yes, ma'am.
Right. Now, you say you led some credence to that because you, in your answer, say, well, the other pageant didn't take place because I had some personal problems.
I said she could be in it at no cost 2 months later. Yes, ma'am.
At no cost because you were arranging it.
Yes, ma'am.
But then you didn't arrange it.
I was unable to fulfill my obligation having the pageant, and it did upset quite a few young ladies, and it upset me that I couldn't have it.
Good.
But I did have a
But
death
none
in
of
the
those
family.
other ladies that it upset had given you $185.
Had given my daughter, yes, ma'am.
Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you can understand why she's upset.
Yes, ma'am, I
And you
can.
can understand why her little girl is upset.
Yes, ma'am, I can.
All right? All right. Miss Sainian, I'm not exactly sure that I'm getting the truth, the 100% truth from you or from you. I know what you thought. And I know you thought that you got taken, because I don't think otherwise you would have sponsored, you would have given her a check for $185. How much did you used to pay her for babysitting?
I paid her $3.50, and I always paid Casey really good because my daughter always liked her. And I really do feel taken.
Why didn't you save the money from babysitting for sponsor money?
Because I used all the extra, like all my babysitting money as what a regular teenager would do.
Well, why didn't you save it for your sponsorship?
Because when I was babysitting her, I really didn't think I was going to be in this beauty pageant. It was at the last minute thing.
Oh, why was it at the last minute?
Because I didn't get the entry form until late.
So that you didn't have any money.
Right, for myself.
So, and you wanted to do it very badly?
Yes, I did.
Now, now the common sense part is coming together, so that you went to her immediately.
Right.
This lady immediately.
Right.
All right. Very good. I understand.
Judge Judy is ready to rule.
All right, Miss Sainian, I do believe that you are entitled to $185 from these people. I don't believe you're entitled to any more. I don't believe you're entitled to compensation for your daughter's pain and suffering or anything else. And I am dismissing your counterclaim for $2,500. So, I'm going to tell you one other thing.
Yes, ma'am?
Telling the truth is very important.
Yes, ma'am, I know.
Some people have a special gift. They may be very dumb at certain things, but some people can tell when somebody is lying to them. It's one thing when older people lie. I don't know, sometimes I think that it's reasonable. It certainly sets a bad example. It certainly sets a bad
She
example.
is not lying, Your Honor.
Well, I'm not so sure.
Well, I'm
not
sure.
I'm not so sure that the agreement that you two ladies made with your daughter, either present or outside the room, gave this lady the distinct impression that if she was going to shell over $185, it was with the understanding and assurance that it's a future date and a future pageant. Her little girl was going to have the same opportunity to go around and prance around on stage and be in a pageant. And that's why you showed her how to walk, showed her how to move, showed her how to do all those things. That's what the inducement was. That was the inducement.
But it was not a contingency. At the time when she sponsored my daughter, I did not even know I was going to have a beauty pageant.
Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff for the amount of $185. That's all.
You're not excused. You may step out.
That's not
Let's get out of here.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Parties on Castleberry versus Thomas. Step forward, please.
35-year-old Major Castleberry is suing 39-year-old apartment manager Zachary Thomas for assault.
Order. All rise. Yes, case number 361 on the calendar in the matter of Castleberry versus Thomas. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Gentlemen.
I'll wait for you, sir. You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. You are the apartment manager
Yes, ma'am.
in a complex where the plaintiff lives, correct?
No, he doesn't live there.
He doesn't. Did he live there?
No,
He was just visiting there.
he was just visiting.
And you were there visiting a couple that you say you take care of.
Yes,
occasionally.
ma'am.
And you claim he assaulted you.
That's correct.
You want to tell me how that came about?
Yes, ma'am. From point A to point Z, I was actually I was visiting Mr. Bob Miller here, and actually I went to the store for him, and I came back. While at the store, I met a young lady, asked me to give her a ride, you know, up the way towards where we live, where actually Bob lived. And
Where do you live?
I live in Emeryville. I used to live next door to Bob Miller for 11 and a half years before I moved.
Okay. So go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. And as me and this, the young lady I gave a ride, you know, up to where Bob lived, we were sitting out in front of the apartment complex, and we're just sitting there talking. And you know, I acknowledged Zach was on the first level there, and Zach says, I spoke to him. How you doing, Zach? We never had a problem prior to this.
So you knew him from before?
Yes, ma'am. I've known him since I've lived there. I used to be the manager of the building adjacent to his. And so Zach came to the vehicle and says, "Hey, man, you know, what are you guys doing sitting in front of the apartment complex? Don't you know, people get shot for sitting in front of, the apartment complex." So Zach proceeded up the stairs, and I thought about what he said, and I told the young lady, I said, "Hey, well, let's go up, to Bob's apartment, right?"
To Bob's apartment?
Yes, ma'am, Mr. Bob Miller. And so we goes into the apartment and sitting down talking, conversating. And 45 minutes later, there was a knock at the door. And so I go and answer the door, and ask who is it. He says, "Zach." So I open the door to see, yeah, Zach, what is it? And then he, proceeded to push the door in, forcefully push it. I said, "Man, you can't do this, man. That's not right. You're out of line." And he, pushed me into the partition there. And he grabbed a plant, and he tried to hit me over the head with the plant, but the vase that the plant was in fell, hit the ground, so therefore he was left holding dirt in his hand. And also, he struck me upside the head, and I received damages from that.
What kind of damages?
I have like a scar tissue under my temple area here.
Did you go to the doctor?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a doctor's
Yes, ma'am, I
bill
have.
report?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So, what happened?
Okay, on July the 2nd, I normally make my rounds of my building, making sure the building is safe, making sure that nobody is hanging out in front of the building. Then I observed Major Castleberry sitting inside this car. I don't know, he was smoking something, and
What do you mean he was smoking something?
he was smoking something that I assume it was, like crack, cause he's a, abuser, and and also when they got out the car, the young lady got out and came to my building, and before she walked up the stairs, she had used the restroom right in front of my stairs.
You mean she just
used the restroom in front of my stairs.
mean she urinated in front of your stairs?
Yes, ma'am.
She didn't use a restroom because it wasn't a restroom, it was the stairs.
Was the stairs? Yes, ma'am. And
You saw this, sir?
Yes, ma'am. And this was around between 3:30 and 4 o'clock a.m. in the morning. Okay, and then when Major Castleberry proceeded up the stairs into the house, I didn't think nothing of it until he just opened up the door and just went in. And
So
then,
you were concerned that you didn't see him knock at the door or that you didn't see Bob let him in. He just opened the door and went in.
Right, he just, because he just opens on the door and just walks in. I knocks on the door, he cracks the door. Then I observe that when he cracks the door, my concern is with Bob.
So what did you see when he opened the door crack, you mean?
I seen this naked woman standing up, getting her clothes off the floor.
Was that the same woman
The same woman that he was in a car with.
who you saw using your staircase as a bathroom.
Right.
Okay.
And then as she was standing in the middle of the room floor naked, and then I said, I want to talk to Bob. And then he go tell me that you're not going to talk to no one, and slam the door in my face. So I'm assuming that he just got upset because I disturbed whoever he about to do. When he slammed the door, I talked through the door. And I said, I want to talk to Bob to make sure Bob know that you're in the house. Because I don't know if he let the door open for you, or I don't know that you just walked in. Because Bob always have people coming inside his house, drinking with him, and always leaving out with money of his after he passed out of drinking. I said, okay, if you won't open the door, I'll just go call the police, and then so I can see, is Bob okay?
So, did you do that?
Yes. And then the two couples came out, him and his girlfriend, came out the house, and they start arguing about 4 a.m. in the morning to top of their lungs. Then I was trying to come to them. I said, look, y'all can't be yelling in my building at 4 a.m. in the morning.
And where was this taking place, this yelling and screaming?
Right outside, because they had stepped outside.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You take her up to the apartment with Bob passed out on the couch.
Well, Bob was actually asleep, you know.
He was in a deep sleep.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Major Castleberry is suing apartment manager Zachary Thomas for assault. Zachary claims Mr. Castleberry was causing problems in his building and was attempting to detain him until the police arrived.
This is outside the apartment, so how did he get hit in the head?
Okay, then after I went to trying to calm them down, and then the door was already open, so I seen Bob laying down, face down on the couch. So I went to the apartment to see was he okay. Major Castleberry came in and started shoving me, well, tried to shove me out the door. You know, I said, Major, you know, get your hands off me. Then he kept on shoving me. And then I wouldn't budge. So I detained him against the wall and said, Major, be still until the police come. Then I heard footsteps coming up the stairs or down the stairs. So anyway, I heard footsteps. Then when I turned and looked to see who was that, when I turned back around, he had hit me in, somewhere in the cheek area. You know, he had struck me first in the cheek area. And then he struggled trying to get it loose, started trying to get it loose. Then as he kept on trying to get it loose, trying to hit me still, kept on trying to swing, that's when I countered and hit him to calm him down. Then after I hit him, then he come
Why
right...
did you pin him, sir? Mr. Thomas, I understand what you're saying, and I understand that you felt as if you were protecting the tenant or trying to make sure that the tenant was okay in your building.
Right.
What I don't understand is, sir, once you saw the tenant in your building, who you know, according to you, drinks, and you saw him, according to you, sort of passed out on the couch, right?
No, I didn't know he was passed out.
You saw him face down on the couch.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what you saw. So you knew he was okay.
No.
Or as okay as he has been other times when you've seen him, if you said, you know, he drinks, right?
Right.
So why did you try to detain this man?
Because he was swinging on me.
No, he wasn't swinging on you, sir, until you went into the apartment.
When I first came to the apartment, knocked on the door, like I said before, and then he refused to let me speak to my tenant.
He doesn't have to let you speak to your tenant, sir. You know that. I mean, I'm not faulting you. I think you were trying to do your job. I don't think that there was anything malicious about your intent. I really don't. Except that because you had certain grounds to believe that the people who were going into that apartment were not wrapped too tight that evening. You know, you have a woman using a staircase as a bathroom.
That's a plain lie, Your Honor.
Mr. Castleberry,
Yes, ma'am.
what were you doing out sitting in the car 3:30 in the morning with this lady that you picked up at the store?
Obviously, Your Honor.
No. Look at my eyes, Mr. Castleberry.
Definitely. No
Mr.
problem.
Castleberry,
Yes, ma'am.
you said you met this lady when
Yes,
you were
ma'am.
going out to the store.
Yes, ma'am.
And you were going to the store to get what?
Well, I was going to the store.
Look here.
Oh, fine. I was going to the store for Bob to get him a bottle of liquor, actually.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
So you were going to the liquor store, and at the liquor store you met this lady who needed a ride.
Correct.
To where she lived.
Basically, no, ma'am, she just actually wanted to ride up the street. She didn't ask me to take her home. She just asked me, you know, basically the conversation went like, you know, can I hang with you, right? I said, well.
At the liquor store where you went.
No,
You went to the liquor store.
This is not a liquor store. This is actually Walgreens, you know. And that's why I met the lady on the way out of the store. And she asked me.
So she asked you, the lady who you met coming out of Walgreens said to you, can I hang with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Castleberry.
Yes, ma'am.
As much as I hate to admit it, sir, I wasn't born yesterday.
Okay, though. Well, that's the truth, Your Honor.
Now you, who I'm sure hadn't had anything to drink that night. Is that right?
I had some beers or what have you, but yet and still I wasn't.
What's the what have you?
Some beers.
It's a what have you that I'm interested in.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I had beers.
Then you had some beers and you went to get some more liquor for both you and Mr. Bob over here, who was passed out on the sofa. And you meet the young lady outside of Walgreens who wants to hang with you. And you take her up to the apartment with Bob passed out on the couch. So far, am I getting this picture right?
Well, Bob was actually asleep, you know.
He was in a deep sleep. Is that right, Bob?
No, it isn't.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
There was no reason for him to be alarmed by him seeing me going there into Bob.
With the lady who had just urinated on the stairwell.
That's not true.
I believe it's true.
Okay, doke. Yes, ma'am.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Major Castleberry is suing apartment manager Zachary Thomas for assault. Zachary says Major may have been committing a crime and he wanted to hold him for the police.
This young lady, why did you bring her up to Bob's house?
Actually, it was actually, I don't know, no, you know, premeditated anything of that matter. It was no harm, no law broken. You know, I told her, yeah, sure, you can come on, and we just conversating, just talking. And also, Your Honor, it's, you know, people trying to make a mockery out of this situation. Yet and still, what happened to me basically shouldn't have happened at all. You know?
I absolutely agree with you,
yes,
sir.
Yes, ma'am. So that's the bottom line.
I absolutely agree that it shouldn't have happened
Definitely.
to you.
Right.
He was trying to make sure that his tenant was safe. Because you have had no prior problems with this man.
Never. And Zachary knows
Just a
me.
second. You've had no prior problems with this man.
Never.
But he was concerned for the following reason. He was concerned because you were bringing a woman up to Bob's apartment, a woman who he had seen, and I absolutely believe him when he says that she was urinating in the hallway.
Oh, my God.
Absolutely believe it. Okay? Because, quite frankly, sir, I think that you may tell me that you were not intoxicated that evening, but I think that you and Bob had done a little drinking. If that's all you were doing. If that's all you were doing. So that you were in complete control of what was going on. Now, he may not have acted 100% appropriately. You understand that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
But he says that you hit him first.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
Well, he says that you hit him first, but then again, he was pinning you against a wall, a partition.
A partition wall.
A partition. So he put his hands on you, and I don't think he had any right to do that. I don't think he had any right to put his hands on you, because what he came in and saw was two guys who were semi-inebriated, and according to him, with a naked woman in the apartment. Something that I would not necessarily encourage, but which is not a crime.
That's not true.
Listen, Mr. Castleberry, this whole scenario that evening doesn't sound totally kosher to me. You know what that means? Totally right. Because I don't know what you're bringing some lady that you just met off the street, whether it's at 10 o'clock at night or 3 o'clock in the morning, up to this man's house for. What do you don't know anything about her. You know? You're pretty well sauced, he's pretty well sauced. Everybody's sauced, and you bring a stranger up to the house that can clean him out and go into the bedroom where his 92-year-old mother is sleeping and slit her throat. You know, I mean, all that is possible. This is somebody that you didn't know.
May I actually say something,
Yeah,
Your Honor?
sure.
Thank you very much. Actually, Your Honor, none of this, Zach have known me since 1985. I've never been in jail, never been in no trouble, or nothing of that matter, period. And he know that, hey, there was no reason for him to be alarmed by him seeing me go in there into Bob.
With the lady who had just urinated on the stairwell.
That's not true.
I believe it's true.
Okay, doke. Yes, ma'am.
I believe it's true.
Okay, doke.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
The reason I put my hands on him, because he put his hands on me first, shoving me out the apartment.
You had no business being in the apartment after you saw that he was in the apartment still breathing.
Okay.
Except that this woman, but the woman, according to you, was outside, right? At the time when this took place, the woman was outside the apartment, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I mean, I understand your concern, Mr. Thomas.
And there was an arrest there at the same time.
A what?
The police did arrest the woman.
For what?
For being intoxicated, wouldn't shut up, and wouldn't listen to reason. The police handcuffed her and took her to jail.
Interesting. They took her away in handcuffs?
He's lying.
No. He's not.
All right. Okay, doke.
No, he's not.
All right.
He's not lying. Mr. Castleberry, you
Yes,
have to
ma'am.
use better judgment, sir, if you have better judgment, because if this man gives you access to his apartment, you have to exercise better judgment about who you permit into the apartment. Now, you're suing him for $4,000, Mr. Thomas. No way. No way. And I do believe that you did, in fact, hit him before he hit you. I also believe, however, that Mr. Thomas, sir, overreacted in the situation by not leaving the apartment once you saw that he was okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So, you're both a little bit wrong.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Now, it says here that you had a little bit of a knot on your head, right?
Yes, ma'am. That's what it says.
That's what it says. So I have some other questions for you. Are you employed, sir?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Who do you work for?
I'm a government painter.
A what?
A government painter.
So you work full-time for the government or part-time?
Full time.
Did you miss any work?
Just
Over here, sir.
just the days that I had to go, and I consulted an attorney, and I also went to the doctor.
It's not what I'm asking you, sir. After this incident,
Yes,
not the
I
days
did.
you took off to go to see a lawyer, or not the days that you took off after you consulted with the lawyer to go to a doctor. Because that's about what happened, right? First you went to see a lawyer, and then the lawyer sent you to a doctor, correct?
That is correct.
See how smart I am? See, if you're really hurt, you go to the doctor before you go to the lawyer. That's what happens when you're really hurt.
Okay.
When you're not really hurt, first you go to the lawyer, and then the lawyer sends you to a doctor.
May I
That's
say
right,
something,
Kurt?
please?
Sounds right to me, Judge.
So, Mr. Castleberry, I am awarding you damages, sir, in the amount of $1. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Thank you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Parties on Lake versus McConnell. All parties on Lake versus McConnell. Step forward, please.
46-year-old Donald Lake is suing 25-year-old supermarket checker Shannon McConnell, claiming she gave him the wrong change. Shannon says Lake was rude, and he got his money.
Order. All rise. Quiet in the courtroom, please. All rise. Down, this is number 62 on the calendar in the matter of Lake versus McConnell. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Mr. Lake, I am baffled by your lawsuit, so I am hoping, sir, that you are going to be able to explain to me why you believe that this young lady should give you $2,500.
As a consumer in a very aggressive area, retail grocery, as a consumer there where
Why don't you tell me the story, sir?
the story is
Yes, tell me about the lawsuit.
the lawsuit itself
Put your papers
concerns
down, put your briefcase down. and just relax and tell me the story.
The story, which I have the physical evidence here, is that as a consumer, on Christmas Eve of last year, I entered with a companion at a certain grocery store in the San Diego County area. With that, and with my companion, we went through the cash-only line. My companion went first. She bought a couple of items. She was waiting right there on Christmas Eve for me to go through. Body language that she was ready to go, keys in her hand, tapping her foot. It was a very rush type of thing. I come in with one item in the cash line. I go ahead and confront the cashier with...
That's this young lady
yes,
here.
Ma'am. A person now, who I now know the first and last name of. At that time, she was wearing a name tag with just her first name and last initial. At that time, right here on the receipt...
You gave her your item. What did you buy, sir?
I bought one bottle of champagne.
Okay, you bought a bottle of champagne, and you gave her money.
Not only did I give her money, but before I gave her money, I said, I have two $20 bills and a 50.
Well, why would you say...
Shut up!
Pardon me.
You gave her two $20 bills and a 50. And how much was the champagne?
You can see the attitude of the store.
Hey, just a second. Mr. Lake, answer my questions,
yes,
please.
ma'am.
How much was the bottle of champagne, sir?
The bottle of champagne with the tax and everything else came out to $4.30. I asked Ms. McConnell, can you break a 50? I told her I have two 20s and a 50. She said yes. I handed her a $50 bill, a quarter, and a nickel, $50.30 for $4.30 purchase.
So what happened? Come on, speed
what
up the
happened
story.
was, with my companion waiting to go, rushing off for...
I heard the companion. What happened with the money and the champagne? Come on.
The money and the champagne is, I got the champagne, but I didn't get all the money.
Okay, so you say that she shortchanged you in the change, is that right?
She went ahead and counted out $50 in cash as a count back. I grabbed it and the receipt, stuffed it in my pocket, and left. Very soon after, in the same part of town, I had another cash transaction. I got out my cash. The receipt read clearly, cash tended $40.30.
Okay.
I went back within half an hour of making my purchase. I confronted her and I said, have you taken in any $50 bills recently? And she said, no. This is within minutes after the transaction.
Okay, so what happened? Come on.
What happened was that talking to various store officials, including one Dean Honda, and
you talked to people at the store.
Yes, ma'am.
And did you get your $10 back?
I got the $10 back after a lot of arguing, and I also got the corporate phone up here in LA County.
Mr. Lake, so you went in, you gave her money, you realized sometime later when you were making a purchase that she had given you, according to you, $10 less in change than you should have gotten. So
yes.
far as that, make it fast?
Yes.
You went back to the store. At first, they didn't think that they had made a mistake, but ultimately that evening, they gave you the $10, correct?
After a lot of arguing, yes.
So you had a lot of arguing, whatever. That evening, they gave you back the $10.
That's correct.
So why are we here?
On principle. She still has her job. She has not, to the best of my knowledge, been reprimanded, and the store has tolerated outright theft. This is not my opinion. This is physical evidence. They tolerated outright theft. It's not my fault that she wanted some kind of a Christmas bonus on her own as an individual employee. In an industry that from the top constantly cheats consumers through price fixing, that store managers constantly take items off of sale on their computers. We have, in addition to that, employees working on their own, taking money out of my pocket. The principle of the thing is we have theft, we have denial of the theft, and we have zero cooperation from the corporation.
Okay. Now, I have a couple of questions to ask.
Yes, ma'am.
How many lawsuits have you filed with regard to this particular incident?
One.
And this is the only one?
Yes, ma'am.
Never filed any lawsuits against her because she has a counterclaim against you for a variety of things, including abusive process, which is really the basis of your lawsuit, although you don't couch it in that language. She says that you've sued her at various times, and she'll tell me about that. You've also slandered her, which you did right now. You said she was a thief.
And I stand by that.
May cost you money, Mr. Lake. You understand that?
I stand
because
by
now
it.
I'm going to ask you some questions. Then I'll get to you. Okay, fine. It was Christmas Eve.
Yes, ma'am.
Store was busy,
Relatively so, yes.
and there were a lot of people online waiting, which is why you went to the cash line?
No, it was well staffed. They had a fair amount of employees waiting on people, so it was busy, but it wasn't real crowded, or there was not a long line.
Okay. And you came to her, and what you said to her was, I have two 40s or a $50 bill. Two 20s or a $50 bill.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, why would you say you had two 20s if the whole champagne was only $4?
I wanted to know,
No,
in the cash line,
yeah.
you know, I went through the cash line because I had one item in cash.
No, Mr. Lake, you're not following me, sir. If I had a 20 and a 50 and I was buying a $4 item, I might say, can you cash a 50? I have a 50 or a 20. Can you cash a 50? You told me that you said to her, I have two 20s and a 50.
Because I had just pulled it out and I was looking at it and communicating right off the cuff at that moment.
So what you did, what you're saying to me, Mr. Lake, is, since you must agree with me that that was sort of a silly thing to say, I have two 20s to pay for a $4 item or a 50. I mean, that was kind of ridiculous, right? Mr. Lake, is that kind of ridiculous to say I have two 20s to pay for a $4 item or I have a $50 bill?
That's the items that I pulled out. That's the cash I had on hand.
Well, who cares what cash you had? What if you had a $1,000 bill? She doesn't care what cash you had on hand. You had a 20 and a 50. You could have paid with either one.
I had a couple
So
of
can you
20s.
say, did you ever say I made a mistake? Did you ever say that in your life?
Often.
Very good. Well, so you made a mistake. You should have said, I just have a 20 and a 50. Can you cash the 50?
Well, if I had more time, if it wasn't a rush situation, maybe I would have.
Now we're getting there, Mr. Lake.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Do I look like I need help?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Shannon McConnell, a supermarket cashier, disputes Donald Lake's accusations that he was shortchanged.
So you made a mistake because it was rushed, because you were taking out your money fast, because you had somebody waiting for you, and there were a lot of people behind you waiting to get checked out. So you made a mistake. Why wouldn't you give this young lady, and I haven't heard from her yet, the benefit of the doubt? Why do you ascribe to her malevolence, criminal activity, when it could have been an honest mistake?
That's a very good question.
I'm waiting for your very good answer. Now you're taking time to think about it, Mr. Lake, because you're going to think about a good response to me.
I can tell you right now, two good responses.
Yes.
Response number one, she counted back $50, not 40, in her count back. Number two, a few minutes later, she denies ever having the $50 bill in the first place.
Okay,
And she said right then and there, oh, you know, if she'd apologized, if she would have helped me confer with the manager. I mean, up until I got the money back that night, she was fighting the manager. If she would have admitted her mistake, that would have been fine.
Mr. Lake, you don't think as a consumer you made a mistake by taking the money when she counted out the money and not looking at it? Not saying, I gave her a $50 bill, let me just check my change, instead of taking your change and just putting it in your pocket. Don't you have any responsibility to do that right at that moment?
Whatever responsibility I had with that, I took care of it as soon as possible.
No, you didn't. If you had taken care of it immediately while you were right there, you would have said, look, right, the bill right there on top, that 50 is mine. Instead, you walk out of the store after she counted out your money. Then you come back a half hour later after you've made another purchase someplace else and say, now, Christmas Eve, I want you to remember that I gave you a $50 bill. Hold it. Go.
From the beginning?
Well, if there's anything that he's left out from the beginning, I'd like to hear you.
Okay, when we went to the cash line, it was extremely busy.
How long have you been working at this store?
Since 1985. Well, not this particular store, for the company since 85. After I checked him out, I went on a 10-minute break. After I came back from the break, I went to another register. So when he approached me, he didn't ask me in a calm manner. He came up screaming a 20, a 10, and a 5, and a 1, saying that that's a change I gave him. Asked if he'd taken any 50s lately, being that I had just returned from my break, maybe 10, 15 minutes. I was on a new register where his 50 would have been on the old register, so I didn't recognize him from the prior exchange because they had been so busy. I had hundreds of customers that day. I didn't recognize him, so I thought the only thing that came to mind was maybe he was wanting a nice, clean $50 bill to give as a gift. So I was saying, I don't think so, but I can check. And as I'm saying, I can check, see if there's one in the drawer. That's when he started going, there's 20, a 10, and a 5, and a 1. And then at that point, the manager came over to see what the commotion was about. The manager did not argue. I did not argue because I didn't know what it was about. The manager took the receipt, said, you were shorted $10. He said yes. He took him over to the courtesy desk. At that time, he just gave him the $10, no questions asked, really. It was a matter of minutes till he got his $10 back. And at that point, Mr. Lake took the $10, waving in the air, screaming, don't go through Shannon's line. She has my money. She'll take your money.
Did you do that, sir?
Not all of those things.
Yes, sir.
I did some of them.
Ma'am, this is Jackie here.
Were you there that evening?
Yes, when her and I came back from our breaks, it just coincidentally at about the same time, she opened up on the register right next to me, and the way our register is set up is her customers' backs are to me, and my back is to them. Okay, so I heard a 20, a 10, real loud, and I turned around, stopped checking, turned around, and looked at Shannon, and then he goes up to the service desk with the manager and gets his $10. He has it in his hand, waving it. She stole my money. I mean, Christmas Eve is the second busiest day of the year. I've been working there for 22 years. I've never seen anything like this before in my life, the whole time. And he was waving the $10, saying she stole it. The customers eventually, he was there for probably 5 to 7 minutes, yelling and carrying on in front of the store. So all of her fellow employees heard every check stand was open. All the customers were. It was very busy. Him saying it wasn't that busy, relatively. Anyway, so the customers finally started saying, we don't want you here. Go back to where you came from. We like our store. We like Shannon. And he left. That's how it was. I saw the whole thing. I stopped checking to watch it because I've never seen anything like it.
Shannon, how many times have you been to court with regard to this case?
This is my third time.
Tell me about the first 2 times.
The first time I went,
You were served with a summons?
Yes. And I went.
What was he suing for that?
The first time was criminal and commercial theft, deceit, and fraud. That was the first one. I went there, and Mr. Lake failed to appear. I thought that was the end of it. I thought maybe he realized that this was a ridiculous case, and that was it.
Which court did you go to?
San Diego, Claremont.
Does that sound familiar to you, sir, that you filed a case there?
Yes, it did, and she was not serviced.
Just a second.
There was no service done.
I was there when he served the papers, and you did serve her, and you stood behind her and watched her check for about 10 minutes after you served her. You served her personally.
And
I stood there
Just a
and watched you.
second. Just a second. And did you serve her?
No, I cannot serve. Service
Exactly.
must be done.
Hey, just listen to me. Just a second. You served her. You gave her the papers.
Yes, I did, and that is not service. Service must be a third party.
So why did you serve me?
Hey, do I look like I need help? Do I look like I need help?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You're really ticking me off, sir. You're really ticking me off, sir.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Donald Lake, the former educator, wants supermarket checker Shannon McConnell to pay for his trouble when he claims he was shortchanged at her supermarket.
Mr. Lake, so let me understand this, sir. You did, in fact, give her papers with regard to this first suit that she's talking about. But,
Yes, I did.
and what you're saying is that it's a question of semantics, because since you, as a party, cannot serve her, a third party must serve her. It was invalid service, and therefore she was not served.
Also, ma'am.
Am I right?
That's correct.
Good. Now,
And-
say nothing. You're really ticking me off, sir. You're really ticking me off, sir. So you didn't appear in that action because you say she wasn't served. Is that correct?
That's partially correct.
Did you appear in that action?
No, I did not.
Then I'm correct.
You're partially correct.
I'm always correct, sir. The question is, she went to court because she was given papers. She's not a lawyer. She doesn't know that if a third person doesn't serve, it's not considered good service, so she didn't want to be in default. She went to court, and you didn't.
Also, the paperwork was given to Shannon M. I was trying to find out her last name so that she could be serviced correctly.
All right, so now we have one lawsuit that you filed that you didn't follow through with, and she went. When was the next lawsuit?
The next one was 2 months later. We went again, and at that point, we found out that not only did he have my court case, he had 2 other cases in the courtroom next door. Obviously can't be in 2 courtrooms at one time, so he denied having the pro tem hear our case. So perhaps you could go to the other cases. So
Let me understand this so that I make it simple. When you showed up in court on the next court date after you were properly served, I assume, Mr. Lake, you had 3 actions pending on the same day. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you had to choose which case you would hear that day because you couldn't be in 2 courtrooms at the same time. So you said, I don't want a lay judge to hear my case. In her case, adjourn it to another day. Is that what happened?
No, ma'am.
Then let me hear.
I said I don't want a lay judge, a person who is not culpable to the performance review board on any of my cases. That is a constitutional right.
And this is the 3rd case, is that correct? Are you ready?
I think so.
Are you ready?
Judge Judy is ready to rule. Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Mr. Lake, in the year and a half that I've been handling cases in this court, I have never imposed the judicial sanction of fines for abusive process, fines that are be paid to the court for wasting court time. Now, I am dismissing your lawsuit because your lawsuit is frivolous. And not only is it frivolous, but this is the 3rd time that you have abused the people of this state by taking up judicial time and manpower in filing it. There is no question that there was, based upon what I've heard, an honest mistake. You, sir, are a suer, which means you like to sue people. And maybe you get off on that, but I'm telling you right now that the judicial system in this country will not tolerate those people who abuse it, because if you abuse it, people who have a real case can't get court time because the courts are clogged with this kind of frivolous nonsense. Now, say nothing, Mr. Lake. You already said too much. Now, with regard to this lawsuit, her counterclaim, I'm awarding you. You are asking for $1,400. Right. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
And I'm also going to exercise my discretion and award you $2,500. Wow. All right? And I am imposing sanctions, Mr. Lake, costs upon you that are to be paid to the court in the amount of $500 because you have abused me, and I resent it. Not only have you abused her, but I resent the fact that you have abused the court system. That's all.
Step out. I'm back here to your right. And on the next Judge Judy.
Party's on Birmingham versus Cameroni. Step forward, please.
26-year-old prison guard Eric Birmingham is suing former inmate Judy Cameroni for libel and slander on the internet. Judy claims he mistreated her while in custody.
Order. All rise. Quiet in the courtroom, please. All rise. Yeah, this is case number 428 on the calendar in the matter of Birmingham versus Cameroni. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Sir, have a seat.
All right, the chronological posture of this case is as follows. You, sir, are employed in a jail.
Yes.
As a guard.
As a deputy, yes, ma'am.
And there came a time when you, Miss Cameroni, were an inmate in that jail, having been convicted of some speeding violation. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
You claim that while you were in the jail, you were subjected to maltreatment by the plaintiff.
Yes, that's correct.
You complained to your husband. Is that you?
Yes.
Who sent faxes to the warden.
That's correct.
And as a result of those faxes, you were further mistreated by the plaintiff. Then you served your time, you got out of jail, and you started to write on the internet about the plaintiff and about the things that you suffered from while you were in jail at his hands. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
And you're suing her for slandering you.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you ever sue him?
No, I did not.
You chose to take out whatever anger that you had by using the computer.
Well, I chose to tell my story through a website instead of suing civilly.
Okay. How long have you been employed as a deputy in the jail, sir?
3 years, ma'am.
And what were you doing in the jail? You were there for the speeding ticket. For how long were you actually incarcerated?
I was incarcerated for 3.5 months.
Why? That was a pretty long time for a speeding ticket.
Well, back in 1993, I had drove my Corvette at 145 miles an hour up the freeway.
Why would you do that?
You know, I realized it was wrong and I shouldn't have done it. You know, and it was a long time ago, and I know it was dangerous. But the treatment that he put me
No, I'm
through...
not getting to the treatment. So that's what you were there for?
Yes.
Now, tell me about the first time you had a contact with him.
That was June 6th of 1997. He was on night duty at the time, and he was assigned to the tower and the walkthroughs. And he would open and shut the door all night, a loud metal door, so I could not sleep. And then when the sergeant came through at 8 a.m. and asked me why I was still sleeping, I told him I couldn't sleep because of the loud door opening and shutting. And the sergeant says, I'll take care of it, it won't happen again. And that took care of that situation. I started having problems again when I filed a habeas with the court, which was not welcome with many of the jail staff.
What kind of habeas?
I was being denied medication that my doctor had prescribed.
What kind of prescriptions were you supposed to be taking? Don't show me letters. Look at me. Stop playing with papers.
Okay. I was supposed to be taking pain medication and Luvox and...
what was that for?
It was for my depression. I went through a court-ordered psychiatric review and...
So you were supposed to be taking medicine, psychiatric, for psychiatric problems?
Yes, and then for my insomnia, I was supposed to take something for that.
So you filed a habeas corpus proceeding because you said that they refused to give you that medication?
Right.
And were you ultimately given the medication?
After the habeas corpus proceedings, yes.
Well, what did that have to do with him?
Well, when I had come back from court to the jail, he was the one who removed the handcuffs and the shackles, and he was very rough in twisting my arms. And he was telling me, I hope it was worth it, when he was removing the handcuffs.
So when was the next time you had a problem with him?
Well, after that, I had constant problems with him.
Tell me about them.
And with another inmate. Well, there was a particular inmate in there who...
And now, are these things that you memorialized on your website on the internet?
I didn't go into detail on my website.
Do you have what you complain about, sir, in writing?
Yes,
that she wrote on the internet?
Yes, ma'am. I have parts of it, yes.
Can I see it, please?
The second paragraph on the first page is the beginning of it.
This is an accounting of life in jail and the very unprofessional conduct of two deputies in particular, another deputy and yourself, okay, towards her.
Yes, ma'am.
So far this doesn't say anything. I want to see particularly what she says about you so I can address each of those things. Would you have him put a star next to the things that he's actually complaining about so that I could...
Ma'am, that's kind of hard to say.
No, I want to see, sir.
Well,
you are alleging that she either libeled and or slandered you.
Well, that's what I need to explain, ma'am. It's not just what she said. It's the context of my name is now associated with this website on the very first page of it, and it contains words rape, prejudice,
Show
racism.
me where that's alleged that you were any part of that, sir.
By reading it, ma'am, a normal person reading that will get my name twisted into that and see this.
Just a second. She doesn't allege anywhere in here that you raped her, correct?
No, ma'am.
She doesn't allege anywhere in here that you beat her, correct?
No, ma'am.
It says, gives her a gives a whole litany of her experiences in the jail, which may have included those things. But with regard to you, all it says is, the fact is that Deputy Birmingham acted in an unprofessional manner on numerous occasions while she was in custody. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
That's what you're complaining about.
Why is my name on the internet? This isn't anything to do with free speech. This isn't anything to do with her trying to raise funds to go to Supreme Court or anything like that. This is just her ill will to try to get revenge, and my name doesn't belong on the first page of her website.
Well, you were employed at the jail when she was there, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember her when she was an inmate?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Tell me what you remember about her.
I remember basically she'd complain about everything. She accused everybody of doing something wrong. She was just not your model inmate.
Mm-hmm. And how did you react to that, sir?
I didn't care. I was just doing my job, doing my 8 hours and going home.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
And he'd say things to me like, I could make it worse for you here. She could snap your little ass right in half.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Sheriff's Deputy Eric Birmingham says former inmate Judy Cameroni slandered him. Judy says he mistreated her in jail.
Mr. Birmingham, you've been employed according to you for 3 years?
Yes, ma'am.
How many disciplinary proceedings have ever been filed against you?
None, ma'am.
Are you still employed there?
Yes, ma'am.
You want to tell me, madam, what are the things you are specifically complaining about that he did to you? Tell me.
Okay, there was another inmate there who was she was the lover of the jail cook's daughter.
Oy,
and she was in there for, oh no.
The lover of the inmates.
The lover of the jail cook's daughter.
Go. Do this one more time.
She was the lover of the jail cook's daughter.
Okay.
Okay. And she was a very tough woman. She had been incarcerated for beating up 2 of their sheriffs. So she was very tough and very large. And she gave me a very difficult time there. Many times she would back me into the wall and threaten to beat me up, and guards would come running to stop her. Every time she would do something bad to me, and it came down to discipline, she was not disciplined. And Deputy Birmingham chose not to discipline her, and many of the times when we had conflicts where she instigated it, he would choose not to discipline her. And it just made matters worse, and I felt it was very unprofessional for him to do this.
What's next?
It's just caused her to be more bold.
What's next?
Well, my husband sent a fax to the sheriff, which he had intercepted, Mr. Birmingham intercepted. He came up to my cell, dumped out my coffee, which I had to purchase through commissary, and he said he was sick and tired of me. He had the fax in his hand, and he says, you better call your husband and tell him not to send any more faxes.
Does that sound familiar to you?
No, ma'am.
That doesn't sound familiar to you?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Birmingham, are you trying to tell me that a fax of complaint was never received by you, indicating that you failed to take steps to protect this then inmate?
No, ma'am.
You never saw that?
No, ma'am.
He came into your cell with the fax?
Yes, he did, and he dumped out my coffee. And I felt that his unprofessional conduct was putting my safety in jeopardy. You know, and he'd say things to me like, I could make it worse for you here. She could snap your little ass right in half, and things like this.
When did he say that to you?
When he had the fax and dumped the coffee out.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Are you still taking medication?
Yes, I am.
Still the antidepressant medication?
Yes.
Were you on that medication before you were incarcerated?
Yes, I was.
Is this the first time you were incarcerated?
Yes, it was my first and only offense, and I haven't committed any crime since.
This was your first and only arrest?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Did you know that?
Frankly, ma'am, I didn't care.
Sure you did. Well, let me tell you why.
I have no business.
Let me tell
to
you
know.
why, Officer Birmingham. Here you're dealing with a woman, married woman, have children,
Baby.
and did something really dumb 4 years before. By the time it got through the process, only arrest, she's given over 3 months to serve in jail. Pretty frightening prospect, wouldn't you say?
Can I add some clarification there?
Sure.
Okay. First of all, she spent approximately, and I'm not sure the number, 20 days back in 91 or whenever she was first arrested. She was committed after a trial and then got out on an appeal bond. So she had spent 20 to 30 days there already.
So you knew a little bit about her history, Officer.
Now I do. Now I do, yes, ma'am.
Oh, sir. Are you telling me at the time that you folks were having, according to you, lots of difficulty with her husband faxing and everything else, that you didn't open up the file and take a look at it?
I knew what she was there for, yes, ma'am.
He was an inmate who was given lots of problems, who was not prepared to accept the regular drill of being in jail, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. And that presented a certain amount of irritation for all the people in jail. Now, how many guards are there in jail?
It depends on the shift in the day.
Give me some idea of how many people she would have come in contact with between all the shifts.
4 to 5 a shift. It's a small jail.
4 to 5 a shift and 3 shifts a day.
Yes, ma'am.
So 20 people.
Give or say.
She doesn't complain about all 20, right?
Yes, ma'am.
She only complains about really 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know, ma'am. If she had such a problem with me, then why didn't she file a complaint with my department?
She did. She complained through him. She complained, sent a fax. I believe her when she says that you walked into her jail cell with the fax, irritated as hell. I believe her. She doesn't accuse you of any criminal behavior. She says that you were guilty of unprofessional behavior. That's a subjective term.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I could pick up the phone, it's only 2 o'clock, and save my little baby. 600-mile round trip. And that she wouldn't see me.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Prison guard Eric Birmingham says former inmate Judy Cameroni has damaged his reputation on the internet. She says he mistreated her.
Certainly what she's saying is you failed to protect her from another inmate who was dangerous. And that what you were really telling her was, listen, babe, you better just do your time quietly, stop complaining, stop making a pest out of yourself. Because if you do, there are things that we could do to make your life unpleasant. Is that what you're complaining about?
Yes, and he also, what he did was, the worst thing that he did was, he did a walkthrough and he told me when I was watching the news sitting on a bunk, stand up, don't sit on the bunk. I sat on the ground. He says, don't sit on the ground, remain standing. So I remained standing. And then he continued the walkthrough upstairs and left. And I had laughed at a sexual remark that another inmate had made towards him, which is not allowed, but he did not discipline her for it because he welcomes these kind of remarks. And I had laughed, I've got dizzy, I sat down, and I got back up, and I knew I shouldn't have sat down on the bunk. So when he came back around the front door, and I was standing right by the phone, and he says, I'm putting you in lockdown, and tomorrow you cannot see your baby. So I told him, look, I'm standing right by the phone. I could pick up the phone, it's only 2 o'clock, and save my little baby the 600-mile round trip. And then she wouldn't see me. He says, I don't care. And I says, well, then you can have someone else call my husband not to make the trip. He would not do that. But you see, here's the disciplinary action he wrote up. And then he also took away my visiting privileges for 2 weeks, and that's all I had left.
Why did you take away a visiting privilege?
I did not take the visiting away.
What did you do?
It's a disciplinary review board.
What did you write her up for?
If I remember the incident, we had an extra bunk out in the day room area, and the rules state don't use anything it's not intended for. Okay, and she was sitting on the bunk watching TV, and like I told other people or whatever, and told her to sit down over on the tables. But I have no say on whether she loses visits or not. That's the
That's not
disciplinary
my
review board.
question. What this incident that you were talking about, that you wrote her up for,
I believe so, yes, ma'am.
you wrote her up for was because she was sitting on a spare bunk rather than sitting on the table. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. Jail is designed to have rules and to have structure, and that's all
Now,
it
did
is.
you know, Officer Birmingham, that she was supposed to have her visiting with her baby on the next day?
No,
Does
ma'am.
that sound familiar to you?
No, ma'am.
Doesn't sound familiar.
The only time they can make appointments for visits is on the day of the visit. So I would have no say or no knowledge of her
Officer
having a
Birmingham,
visit.
are you telling me, sir, that she did not say to you, if you're going to take away my visits, let me call my husband and tell him not to make this 600-mile trip? That doesn't sound familiar to you?
No, ma'am. I don't know.
You don't know if it sounds familiar. Is that what you're saying?
I don't remember hearing that, no.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Look, I'm going to resolve this matter very quickly. Officer Birmingham, you are in fact suing her. You are suing her for slander, for saying terrible things about you on the internet, on the website. I don't find that she said anything that was terrible about you. She said that you engaged in unprofessional conduct towards her while she was an inmate in the jail. If I have to make a determination today whether or not any of that is true, I would have to say, yes, I believe that you behaved in an unprofessional manner towards the defendant who was an inmate in your jail. And therefore, your lawsuit would be dismissed because truth is an absolute defense. I believe her, sir, when she says that you took her handcuffs off in a rough fashion, that you came into her room with a fax in your hand, spilled her coffee and said, listen, don't do this again, because I can make your life unpleasant here. And I do believe that you wrote her up for sitting on a bed rather than sitting on a table, which caused her to lose her visitation privileges with her child. And when asked whether you would please just call her husband not to make the trip, because the trip would be for naught, she was blown off. That, to me, sir, is unprofessional behavior. So your lawsuit's dismissed. That's all.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Thanks, man.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Right.
And on the next...
Parties on Callaway versus Anderson. Step forward, please.
20-year-old student Lori Calloway says she bailed out her former boyfriend, 26-year-old Camise Anderson, and he didn't pay her back.
Order. All rise. Now, this is case number 393 on the calendar in the matter of Callaway versus Anderson. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Ex-boyfriend,
Yes, Your Honor.
who you say owes you money because you bailed him out of jail.
Yes.
When was this? How many years ago?
Oh no, it was in August.
And how much did this cost you?
$1,300.
Do you have a receipt for that from the bail bondsman?
Yes, I do.
How long had you been going out with him?
Okay, in the end, it was about 4.5 months.
So how long did you know him before you bailed him out?
3, I believe.
3 months. Tell me about this night that you got arrested. It was during the night?
Yeah, it's 3 in the morning. I just dropped Lori off at her house, and at the time I was driving my truck through Richmond Heights, Missouri, and they flagged me because my plates weren't registered to the truck at the time.
How'd that happen?
They just ran my plates.
No.
Oh, okay.
How did it happen that you had the wrong plates on your truck?
I had just traded in my Grand Prix and just had the truck for about a good week or so.
Uh-huh.
And they ran my plates. It was 3 in the morning, and they ran my plates and they flagged me, and that's when they got the warrants on me.
What? So they said license and registration.
Right.
And when they looked at your license, so they said license and registration.
Right.
And when they looked at your license, bingo. Now, how many warrants did you have, Mr. Anderson?
I had 14.
14 warrants.
Yes, ma'am.
You don't like to go to court, sir?
No, it was just at the time I didn't take care of them.
What kind of warrants were they?
Traffic.
All traffic.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's 3 o'clock in the morning in Missouri, and they haul you into jail,
Yes.
correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And what do? You're entitled to one phone call. Who do you call?
First person I called was my grandmother. She had a three-way.
And your grandmother
Okay.
said no.
My grandma, no, I knew my grandma didn't have the money. First person I called was Mahisha Vance. I called her first because...
Who is she?
That is my girlfriend.
Was she your girlfriend at the time?
No, we had separated and I started dating her, but I was still talking to her at the time.
So you called her first?
Yes, ma'am. I called her for a simple fact. I had a paid lawyer at the time. And I called then. After that, I called Laurie Calloway, but no one answered. So I called my mother. I told my mother to go get my truck. Therefore, she had went over to Laurie's house and picked her up. And from what my mother was telling me, that they told Laurie that
No.
basically.
Don't tell me what your mother says.
Okay.
They told
Anyway.
Laurie. Did you speak to Miss Calloway?
No, I didn't speak to Miss Calloway. I spoke to my mother. My mother went and got Miss Calloway. Miss Calloway got my truck. Then, therefore, I told her at the time, I spoke to Laurie when I called her house and asked her, did she have my truck? I got
So you did speak to Miss Calloway?
After I got to another municipality.
So you're on this bus going from one place to another to satisfy all these warrants?
Yes.
And you did, in fact, at one of those locations, call the plaintiff?
Yes, I did.
Now let's talk about the bail.
I spoke to Miss Calloway and I told her at the time I had a paid lawyer. Yes.
What did you tell her you had to pay a lawyer for?
I had a paid lawyer I was going to get out. She decided she wanted to get me out before she go back to school so she could see me.
Shh. You had to pay a lawyer.
I had a paid lawyer.
You had a paid lawyer.
Plus I had $375 in my property. Okay. And that she told me she bailed me out of all those counts. She only bailed me out 3 counties because I had money in my property when I got locked up.
What do you mean money in your property?
I had money. When they locked me up, I had $375 in my property.
In your pocket, you mean?
Yes.
Okay, so you had $375 with you.
Yes.
But you needed another $1,300 to get out of jail.
13, it would have been like 900 or so with that.
Oh.
Because when I went to the county, I had $375 in my property. Because Richmond Heights didn't hold me. I had $375 in my property. Because Richmond Heights didn't hold me.
Miss Calloway, relax.
Richmond Heights didn't hold me for a bond. They just held me for the other counties. Okay.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
She spent $1,300 to get you out of jail. Now, I read something in here that you didn't show up once she got you out of jail. Did you default on this bail?
I showed up for my bail. I showed up for my court cases.
You did?
Yes.
Let me see the papers that you have.
Yes, ma'am.
You sure you showed up on all your cases? Think carefully. Did you show up on all your cases?
Think carefully.
That's very easy for me. Did you show up on all your cases, Mr. Anderson?
I don't think so.
Right. Shh. Right. And because you didn't show up on all your cases, the bail was forfeited. Isn't that what happens?
Yes.
Aren't you glad you told the truth?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I put a TV in her room. I bought her a VCR. I bought her numerous of clothes, shoes, and everything. I did not ask her to bail me out. She did this on her own.
And later today,
You want to be a bum?
No.
You're on your way.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Lori Calloway says she came to the rescue of her former boyfriend, Camise Anderson, and bailed him out of jail. Now she wants payback.
Let me ask you this question. When you went before the judge and you got bailed out, did you promise the judge you would come back?
Yes, I did.
So you lied. Right? Come up. Well, you didn't come back. Did you forget? You forgot. Mister, you forgot, right?
I probably missed one case.
You forgot.
Most definitely.
Most definitely. Now, you want to tell me, sir, why you think you don't owe her this money?
For the simple fact, if that was the case, then I should be counted suing her for what I've gave her. I've gave her numerous of things. I put a TV in her. I put a TV. That was before I got locked. I put two shoes and everything. I did not ask her to bail me out. She did this on her own.
Oh.
I had a paid lawyer. You know.
Oh.
And basically, I had a paid lawyer at the time.
What is
She
your
did this
lawyer?
on
Your
her-
lawyer wasn't giving you $1,300 to get out of jail. What difference it make? You keep saying you had a lawyer. Anderson, pay the money, sir. Buying her a VCR and a television set and a couple of pairs of shoes doesn't wash. You know, you have to be, how old are you?
26.
Are you working now?
Yes, I am.
If you want to drive a car, you have to be responsible. If you get a ticket, you have to show up. If you don't show up and you have a warrant issued and the judge says to you, do you promise to come back? You got to come back. And if because you forgot she lost her $1,300, you got to pay up $1,300 for the plaintiff. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Well, $2,500. Who's stupid? Who's paying?
I'm not.
But your man is.
All right,
Oh, but your man
that's the
is.
whole. That's the
but
whole
your
point.
man
You're right. Did you
is.
hear yourself?
I sure
My
is.
man.
Your man.
My man.
And you can have him.
Okay, and I
you
got
can have
had
him.
him all the time.
And you can have him.
And I got him.
And you can have him. Both of y'all can talk to my diploma because don't neither one of y'all have one.
And now the next case.
Parties on Maldonado versus Ashlock. Step forward, please.
34-year-old Anthony Maldonado claims neighbor Debbie Ashlock's 13-year-old nephew, Christopher Ashlock, vandalized his home.
You folks are neighbors.
Yes, we are.
Live in private houses?
Yes, ma'am.
How close to each other do you live?
10 feet apart.
So you're right next door neighbors.
Right.
How long have you been neighbors?
About 4 years.
This is your nephew.
Yes.
The nephew at issue.
That's correct.
How long has he been living with you?
7 years.
How old are you, young man?
13.
What's your name?
Chris.
Mr. Maldonado, according to your complaint, this young man causes a lot of damage to your property.
Correct.
Miss Ashlock says she can't be responsible for all the neighborhood kids. Whatever damage her nephew has, in fact, caused to your property, she's prepared to pay for. Let's hear about the fence, because the fence seems to be something that you agree you're responsible for, or this young man is responsible for. What happened to your fence, and what kind of fence was it?
It's a cinder block wall that I ended up putting up on my own. She wasn't able to afford to pay her part of it. I did urge her to try to help me with it because it was a very large wall. And it
Mr.
was
Maldonado.
expensive. Yes, ma'am.
We're not going back to the flood, sir. I want you to tell me about the damage to the fence that he caused.
He removed all the grout, ma'am.
All the grout?
Yes.
Explain to me how he removed the grout from the cinder block, sir.
He must have had a lot of energy because, he dug into the grout, into the blocks, with, I believe, some sort of sharp instrument, maybe a screwdriver or something. I saw both, actually him and two of his friends, who are my other next-door neighbors, doing that.
Did you sue them?
I did not sue them because I actually saw him with the device. And,
yeah, but they were all doing it, you said.
Well, they were all within the vicinity, yes. Eventually, they all admitted.
All right, so how much did this cost you to regrout the fence?
Actually, there was estimates for $60 to just regrout it, which isn't much. I guess it's mostly the principal. I've had a lot of problems with them.
Let me explain something to you.
Right.
This is a court.
Right.
So if there was damage caused that you saw, or that you have a witness, and that witness saw, I'm prepared to hear that. So I want you to tell me, other than this grout, which cost $60, Okay, so $20 of that we will attribute to him because he was there with two other people who were probably all chipping away at the grout. Right?
Yes.
And what were you using to chip away at the grout?
Stick, Your Honor.
What else did you see him do?
I saw them throwing stones this one afternoon before I left for work. He and his two friends again over onto my yard. It's always happening on their side of the house. They were throwing stones. I alerted them not to throw any more. And when I left for work, I come back late at night. I noticed that there were cracks in my skylight. And it was raining, so it started leaking. I went up there, found out that there was also bricks up there that had been thrown up there purposely to crack my skylight open.
But Mr. Maldonado, you didn't see who did that?
I didn't actually see the person that threw the exact stone, no, Your Honor.
Or the bricks?
Right.
Tell me, Mr. Maldonado, what other damage you actually saw, if any, Chris do to your home?
Well, I've had also an assault. I mean, that time that I caught them digging into the grout, they were assaulting me with dirt clods. That's one of the...
Throwing dirt clods at you?
Right. And some of them did hit me.
All right, so what I'm gathering from this, Mr. Maldonado, is other than the business with the grout, you didn't actually see Chris here do anything to your property, but you surmised it was Chris and his friends because you're a pretty good guesser.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Every time Chris turned around, Anthony was blaming him for something that he didn't do. Excuse me, but the last 2 years have been very stressful with this neighbor.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Anthony Maldonado says his neighbor's nephew, Christopher Ashlock, damaged his property.
Did you get a report card last year?
Yeah.
How'd you do?
Not really good.
You know, Chris, I could have told you that. You want to be a bum?
No.
You're on your way. Jump! Because he can't prove to me that you did, or not you alone, you with other neighborhood kids, you with a couple of friends. He can't prove to me that you did all the damage to the house if you did it. And if you're spending your time vandalizing somebody, if you did it. And if you're spending your time vandalizing somebody else's property rather than going to school and trying to make something of yourself, then you're going to grow up to be a bum. That's what's going to happen. What are you going to do for Mr. Maldonado to correct this damage that you've been doing to his house?
We've already fixed it.
You fixed it?
Yeah.
Tell me what you fixed.
The wall.
Mm-hmm. Did he fix the wall?
It was very haphazardly done, yes.
But it's
Your Honor.
fixed?
Yes.
You going to bother him anymore?
No, I haven't bothered him for a long time. It was a couple years ago that we did this to his wall.
Miss Ashlock, is there anything you want to say?
Yes, in Christopher's defense, the wall, excuse me, but the last 2 years have been very stressful with this neighbor. But the wall was an accumulation of it was like Christopher's frustration. He realizes it was wrong and he shouldn't have done it. And we had to talk about it and he was punished for it and I fixed the wall.
Okay.
And it didn't cost $60, it was free. But in his frustration out of Anthony doing all these things to him, every time Chris turned around, Anthony was blaming him for something that he didn't do. It was his way of retaliating against somebody a little bigger than he is.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Call 1-888-800-JUDY.
My sense is Miss Ashlock, that Chris has a lot of frustrations. His parents aren't together, lived with his father. Father not around anymore, he's with his aunt and his grandmother, and decided doesn't have both feet planted right, and his school is suffering, and he's hanging around with kids and getting himself into trouble. All of those things are probably true, right?
They were maybe 6 months ago.
Okay, well, if he's back on track, that's really good, and I'm pleased to hear that. You sound like a very nice lady. So your wall is fixed, and you can't prove that Chris did any other damage. You probably felt it, but can't prove it. So, Mr. Maldonado, there isn't an award that I can give you, sir. You understand that?
I understand that.
I believe that you understand that your neighbor is a nice lady and is trying her best under difficult conditions. Right?
I realize that, ma'am.
Good. So, try to be understanding. And you got to realize that when you take on this kind of responsibility, sometimes there are problems and you got to deal with them.
And I do. I try to.
I know you do. I wish you a lot of good luck.
Thank you.
Because it's going to be, how old is your niece?
10.
How do you do in school?
Good.
Yes?
She's on the honor roll.
Great. I'm pleased to hear that. Good luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Out the back door.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I have lived with this man for the last 2 years, constantly harassing me. I just want him to leave me alone. Just forget I live there. You stay on your side of the fence, we'll stay on ours.
I will. Just have your kids, not vandalize my property.
Do not vandalize your property.
Well, she didn't know the entire story. Their family is clearly dysfunctional. They have problems. They can't seem...
Parties on Cox versus Tagliavore. Step forward, please.
20-year-old Wendy Cox is suing her uncle, 50-year-old Joseph Tagliavore. Wendy says before her grandmother died, she promised Wendy she could have her 1991 Ford Thunderbird. Joseph says the car should be sold and the money divided equally between him and his siblings.
Order. All rise. Quiet in the courtroom, please. All rise. Your Honor, this is number 178 on the calendar in the matter of Cox versus Tagliavore. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Have a seat, please.
Miss Cox, this is your uncle.
Yes.
And who are you?
I'm Joe's wife.
Your grandmother, your mother, passed away.
Yes.
According to your complaint, your grandmother, with whom you enjoyed a lovely relationship, promised you
her vehicle, of whichever it may be, when she passed away, which is a 91 Thunderbird.
When did she make this promise to you?
This was, she had an 88 Thunderbird, I think it was 88 or 89, which my other aunt had received, and at the time I just turned 16, and she promised me then the white Thunderbird, which went to my aunt, who has children and needed a vehicle. So she always promised me that she would leave me her car.
You must have had a hot grandmother. She liked Thunderbirds.
Yeah.
So she passed away recently. According to your complaint, the only signed will makes no mention of that bequest.
No. It was also done in 77.
Could I bring up something, Your Honor?
You, sir, are the executor of the estate.
Yes, according to the signed will, yes.
And is there another will, sir?
Yes. This is a will that we received from a attorney that said that from the discussion I had with my sister, Deborah, which is Wendy's mother, that he had told her that...
Just, you can't tell me all these things. This is all hearsay. You received another will.
Yes.
That is unsigned.
That's the will.
Okay, and this was executed in 1992.
Yes.
All right, so let me understand this. We have a 1977 will which makes no mention, that is signed.
Yes.
And makes no mention of this car bequest. Then you have a 1992 will, which according to the plaintiff does discuss the car.
Yes.
Let me just take a look at it. Mr. Tagliavore, were you satisfied that your mother had, in fact, in 1992, had a change of heart, despite the fact that she didn't sign this will?
Yes, I didn't know it. Yes.
Could you sit down, please? Just sit down. The answer is yes. Evidently there was some dispute that your mother had with somebody else, and she, in fact, changed her will.
Yes.
But did not sign it.
As far as I know.
As far as you know, didn't sign it.
Right.
Is there anything that you know about that I haven't said yet?
Yes.
Go ahead.
In the hospital when my grandmother was dying, my husband, my mother, my uncle Bill, and her other son, and my mother, the executor on the second will, she was telling us that her phone book, bank receipts, her will, stuff for her funeral, everything was in her briefcase. We found everything except for her will, which then in her phone book, in 2 different spots, it is noted, Opendahl, the one that drew up the second will, is her attorney has her will. That's how they found him. This is her phone book.
It says in that, attorney has will.
Has will.
Fine.
And I also have a letter from the attorney saying that he was the one that drew it up, and no, she never signed it, that it was her right to be able to take her copy with her, and it was up to her.
Ms. Cox, so then what I'm saying is accurate. Let's put this in order. We have a signed 1977 will, which you acknowledge does not make any bequest of this car to you. Were you born in 1977?
I was born in 76.
Okay, so you were a year old. She wouldn't have left you a car.
No.
Later, you both agree that your mother and your grandmother had the intention of changing her will to leave you the car, but she never fully executed the will, which means she did not have it signed and witnessed. That's according to you, madam, because you just told me that in her papers, in her book, it says attorney has the will. And if this is the will that you got from the attorney, it is unsigned, correct?
Yes.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So here we have the problem.
This is a copy of the will from 1977.
I'll take a look at it. Mr. Tagliavore,
That's where
listen
I got
to me.
the address.
Listen to me.
Yes, ma'am.
I think you were very honest with me a moment ago. I assume that you love your mother, and you know in your heart that she may have not been good at executing this 1992 will, but that was her intention, that your niece have this car.
My mother spoke to me in '96 in November.
Who are you?
I'm her daughter also. She called me in Kentucky, was calling me, and I brought up my will. She brought up her will. Nothing was ever mentioned. She said, I have 6 kids. If there should be anything left, we divided equally. Nothing was ever mentioned once. Wendy didn't know. None of us kids knew that this other will existed. Mom never mentioned to not one of us.
Fine, but it does exist.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I didn't care if I lost the car or not. It was
Come
a
on,
simple.
Wendy,
you
come
don't
on.
know. You do not know.
I
Joy.
know. You
no,
put
you
us
do not
through
know.
hell.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Wendy Cox says her grandmother promised she could have her Ford Thunderbird after she died. But Wendy's uncle, Joseph Tagliavore, claims his mother's will says all of her possessions are to be divided between him and his siblings.
How much property did your mother leave?
The automobile was it, basically.
If you went to sell, sir, a 1991 Thunderbird, how much do you think you could get for it?
5,000, maybe.
Maybe.
6, maybe. Depending on what kind of shape it was in.
Okay, well, what kind of shape is it in?
It's in very good shape.
Okay,
Low
so let's
mileage.
say, and there are 5 kids?
6.
6 kids. So let's make it easy for this old judge, because I'm not real good in math, as Bird can tell you. So let's say you can sell the car for $6,000. So everybody gets $1,000, right?
Right.
The laws in every jurisdiction require a will to be executed in a certain fashion. So we're talking here about a situation where the law, Ms. Cox, in this and practically every jurisdiction in this country requires that a will and any subsequent change of the will be signed and witnessed. Correct? On the other hand, we're talking about whatever is morally right with regard to this car. I believe that you two people know that it was your mother's intention for her granddaughter to have this car. For whatever reasons. I'm sure she has a lot of other grandchildren, but that's what she intended, for this car to go to this grandchild. We're not talking about a lot of money here, Mr. Tagliavore. We're talking about at most $6,000 or $1,000 per person who would tend to inherit the money. So maybe we can come up with some way of being fair to your mother's wishes and also being fair to you, consistent with this will, which is unsigned.
Your Honor, I also have a letter from that attorney.
So what? I don't need the attorney. They don't dispute that. Ms. Cox, relax.
Okay, but...
Relax. They don't dispute that this...
I was just wondering if that would be... I know it's not signed. I'm just wondering if he
No,
can't
I
be a
don't read
witness,
letters
can
from
he?
attorneys. If you want a witness here, you have to have a witness here.
Okay.
What I started to say to you is perhaps we can come up with something that is fair, reasonably fair to each side. Would it be fair for Miss Cox to have use of this car until she decides to sell it, and when she decides to sell it, the proceeds of the sale of that car are distributed among the six of you? So that in some way, the last wishes of your mother would be honored. Would that be reasonable?
I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Well, I'm telling you, sir.
You don't understand the whole story, I don't believe.
Well, I'll listen to the whole story.
This started years ago when my mother first told me. She told me, you make sure that you take care of your brother James, which is on that will.
In 1977.
Long before then.
But
if anything happened to her, she said, you make sure that he gets his share of whatever is left because he will not take care of it himself. The money would mean a lot to him. It doesn't mean anything to me. My sister, nobody else in the family, you know, $1,000, like you say, is not much money.
So what's James's problem?
He's like one step from homeless, pretty much.
Is there something physically wrong with him, or does he have an alcohol or a drug problem?
No, he's partially disabled. He lives on state aid and stuff like that.
So he has money from Social Security disability.
Right. Which is not much.
I understand that.
$1,000 to him is a lot of money. And this is a promise I made to my mother. And then when this thing all started, as far as I was concerned, I thought my sister was supposed to be executor of this will, and this was all taken care of. She comes after my mother passes away. All the children come to my house. They say, we want you to take care of this. I told Mom in 1995 I wanted to be taken off as executor of the will. I didn't want to have anything to do with it. This was all news to me. So I agreed to do it. Then we started searching and finding stuff. Now this has turned into a total nightmare, and I'm the bad guy when the only thing I see there that is legally binding is that I have to do what the signed will says to do. Now this is all the argument. This is all the bull that I have got from my family.
Sure, because
for doing what I was told to do by the law and asked to do by my siblings.
Well, you're right, Mr. Tagliavore. You, unfortunately, are placed in that responsibility because it's not just you, but you have 5 siblings that you have to deal with,
Right,
too.
and my sister Paula says there's another will that leaves her the car. An orthographic will that she cannot find. She cannot find witnesses to. There's wills floating all over this place. But
Listen,
none of them are signed
there are a lot of
except
wills,
for
but no
one.
property.
Right.
You know, a lot of wills, but one old
And there's
Thunderbird.
nothing but a car.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I did not want
Sure
to sue
you
him.
did, Wendy.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
You don't
Yes,
know
you
me,
did.
Joy. You do not know me. This was the man I thought was my grandfather,
I've seen
okay?
your action.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Wendy Cox is suing her uncle, Joseph Tagliavore, over her grandmother's will.
So I would assume
So-
that you cannot speak for your whole family.
Oh, no,
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. What do you want to say?
It's funny that Mother never said anything to anybody, not even to Wendy or Debbie. Nothing was said till after the funeral. I mean, she didn't say anything.
No.
Wendy never said
Just a second. Who didn't say anything?
Wendy didn't say nothing. Debbie didn't say nothing. Mom never said nothing.
Listen
that she
to
wanted
me,
Wendy to have the car.
Listen to me, madam.
And I talked to her.
Listen to me.
Okay. I guess it doesn't matter. Whatever you want.
It doesn't. Let me tell you why it doesn't matter.
It upsets me.
Let me tell you why it doesn't matter. Very often when somebody is ill, or even before they're ill, when they are distributing their property by way of a will, and they don't want to create bad feeling while they're alive, they don't want one child to be angry with them or another child or a grandchild to be angry with them, they won't discuss what they're leaving in their will because they figure, when I'm dead, it don't make any difference. So they will not tell their children. Do you have children? Mm-hmm. You have children. Would you have felt badly when you spoke to your mother if your mother said to you, I'm leaving Wendy my only possession, my car? You would have been annoyed with your mother.
I wouldn't.
Sure you would have. And your kids and your children would have been annoyed. Why is Grandma just leaving? Is she the favorite? Why is Grandma just leaving Wendy the car and I don't get anything? Does that sound possible to you?
Well, yes, possible, but if it was her wishes. Mom wasn't shy.
You don't. It's not a question of being shy. No. It's a question of not having your kids or your grandchildren annoyed with you while you're here to experience the feeling. Mm-hmm. Once you're gone, you're gone. Miss Cox, you understand you have a problem.
Yeah.
And your problem is that even under the common law, which forms the basis of every law of every jurisdiction, a last will and testament was required to have some sort of a writing, at least signed by the, what we call them, the testator or the testatrix. That means the deceased. The only signed will that exists here that I see is one that was made in 1977. It doesn't make any mention of a car to you. Your uncle is not a bad guy. If he did anything else with this car, but do what it says to do in the original will, which is dispose of all my property equally among my children, he could be sued by the other siblings for a violation of his duties as executor of the will.
Thank you.
Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
Well, that's unreasonable. That's unreasonable. I can't permit that to happen. My sense is he would like to do the right thing. But unless all of the siblings together say, you can turn the car over to Wendy because that's what Mom wanted, he can't do that. Do you understand? What I think is too bad is that if all the siblings understand that this was Mom's request, and all we're talking about really is $1,000 that you were concerned about for James, because that would mean a lot to him. Well, maybe Wendy here would say, I'll give James $1,000, give me the car.
My mother, the executor on the second will, which my uncle is not even in.
There's no second will.
No, but
Wendy,
I know. Okay,
there's
I'm
no
just saying.
second will.
All right, but my mom did agree to do that. My mom was willing to give my Uncle James $1,000 to make sure he was taken care of, because she loves her brother. It has nothing to do with the Thunderbird.
This is a very good lesson to everybody.
This is ridiculous.
It's a very good lesson to everybody. None of us feel that tomorrow is our last day, so we all tend to put off taking care of business, which keeps things orderly and organized in our lives and prevents this kind of thing happening to a family. Usually when these kinds of things happen within a family, when somebody dies, you're talking about a lot of money. It's absolutely outrageous to me that this is doing this to a family when you're talking about a car, which is the only asset that your mother had. So people who don't take care of their business by keeping abreast of what property they have and how they want to dispose of it, and making clear dispositions of that property before they die are not doing their families a favor.
Judge Judy is ready to rule.
Morally, Wendy, I believe that you are correct that your grandmother wanted you to have this car. Legally, you cannot establish that to me. Moreover, I honestly believe, after speaking to your uncle, that if he had his druthers, he would give you this car. If it was a question of, listen, either the car is mine or it's Wendy's, he would say, you can have the car. He is not in that position. He stands in what we call a fiduciary relationship to his other siblings. He represents them. Unless there is a unity of spirit in that, among those 6 siblings, unless all of them say, give Wendy the car, despite the fact that that's not what your signed will says, he can be sued by them, and it ends up costing him $5,000 or $6,000, probably more with attorney's fees, because he'd have to hire an attorney to defend himself, and you would maybe get the car. So don't blame him. It's not his fault. It's really, unfortunately, your grandmother's fault, because she did not take care of business when she could have in 1992 by signing this will and having a fully executed copy. So this lawsuit is dismissed. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out. And out the back door to your right, please.
On the next Judge Judy.
McBriar versus Golden. All parties on McBriar versus Golden. Step forward.
20-year-old Tamara McBriar says she woke up one day to a $600 phone bill, run up by her live-in boyfriend, Bernard Golden, a lighting technician from Pasadena.
Order. All rise. All rise, please. How you doing, Judge? Judge, this is number 10 on the calendar in the matter of McBriar versus Golden. Parties have been sworn in, Your Honor. Be seated, please. Have a seat.
I've read your papers. Ms. McBriar, according to your complaint, you and the defendant lived together for about 4 years.
Yes.
During that time, he says he paid all the bills. Is that right?
That's right.
But prior to your separation, which was not a happy one, according to what I've read, she says you ran up a phone bill of about $640.
That's not true.
Well, tell me about it.
Your Honor, I have the phone bills right here. What I do, Your Honor, is every month I am on a fixed income. So every month...
What kind of fixed income?
I am on disability. I am on SSI. Okay, so every month what I do is I call the phone company and I asked one of the reps what is the amount of my phone bill before I even get it, so I'll know how much I'm going to pay out for my phone bill. So on April 17th, I got up and I called the phone company. Bernard was still in the bed, he was asleep. And I asked her the amount of my phone bill, and she told me it was $624.13.
For 1 month?
For 1 month.
Yes.
And so I was speechless. I was speechless, and I automatically just started sweating because I had never had a phone bill that big in my life, you know, and so I couldn't speak to her. I kind of just.
So what happened?
So what happened was I said, well, what made the bill $624? And you know, what made the bill this high? You know, I was actually yelling at her. You know, and so she said, well, you have quite a bit of long distance phone calls on your bill to Virginia. Most of them are to Virginia, and you have a lot of toll calls.
So she sent you a bill. You ultimately got a bill.
Yes, I did get the bill.
Would you get the bill? Thank you. So what happened? You got this bill. He's sleeping.
He's sleeping.
You woke him up, I assume.
Yeah. Yes, I did. No,
I'm curious. How did you wake him up?
Actually, I didn't wake him up. I got off the phone with the rep, and I
sat there because I didn't want to go in a rage and yell at him, like, you know, and start this big thing.
That's a good idea.
Okay, so he was coming out the bedroom when I was going to approach him, and it was in the hallway. And so I said, Bernard, I said, why did you run my phone bill up to $624?
Did you say it in that tone?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
And so he said, baby, I didn't know I did that. And so I said, well, you did.
What was the phone bill usually on a monthly basis?
Usually on a monthly basis, my phone bill runs me maybe $40, $50 at the most.
Okay. Your financial arrangement with Mr. Golden was that he paid the rent on the apartment?
He paid the rent and the utilities.
Well, the phone is a utility.
Well, the phone was not a utility. No, it was not. Because that was my phone in my name.
So he paid the gas and electric and the rent. And what about the food? Who paid the food?
I bought the food.
Sometimes she did. Not all the time. She never bought food. She always claimed with accusations with different bills.
All right, I'm just trying to get some sense of the financial arrangement.
No, excuse me, Your Honor. You know I bought food. Don't you sit up here and lie and tell me I did not buy food.
No,
I bought food every month.
Madam, look at me.
I'm
Don't
sorry.
yell at him. He said that you bought some food and he bought some food.
Oh.
That's what he said.
Okay.
But he paid the rent. How much was the rent?
The rent was $650. I mean $550. I'm sorry.
Okay, plus the utilities.
Plus utility, lights and gas.
Okay, and your arrangement was whatever the overage was on this phone bill, you were supposed to pay for it.
Right.
Correct?
Correct.
All right. She says that you joined the psychic hotline.
No, that's not true.
Did you do that?
No.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did, Your Honor.
Order.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. I have proof that he joined the psychic hotline.
Let me see it.
No, I did not.
Did you call the psychic hotline?
No, I did not. I
Yes,
don't know
he did.
anything
You
about
never
it. Never did.
Matter of fact,
She has a block on her phone for 900 numbers. She has a block on her
Yes,
telephone.
yes.
For all the calls that you can't
All right.
call long distance.
Did you
at all.
ever see this phone bill, Mr. Golden?
No,
Well,
Your
we're
Honor.
going to show it to you. I was curious, Ms. McBriar, about something else that I read in your complaint. Because you said during that morning when you confronted, look at me, madam.
Yes.
During that morning, you said because you feared what he might do, you called the police on him.
Well, I called the police on him because, see, Bernard has threatened to kill me. He has threatened to kill me. He has done a lot of things. He has a domestic violence record already. And he does not like police. He told me if I ever called the police on him again that he would kill me.
Had he done anything to you before you called the police that day?
That day he hadn't done anything to me, no.
But you were afraid once you confronted him with the phone bill.
I was afraid for my life.
Could I finish?
Yes,
you can't talk over each other.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I'm upset. I'm very upset.
All right. So you called the police came, you left?
I wasn't home when the police came. I wasn't at there at all.
Had you known that she called the police?
I didn't know who she was calling on. I know she was, she just said, I'm pressing charges as far as I know when I was leaving the house.
What were you pressing charges for?
No, excuse me, Your Honor. You know what? He's lying, okay? He's lying.
About what?
Okay, when I called the police, they asked me, like they always do when I call the police, they asked me what was he wearing. When I was describing to them what he was wearing, he took off on his bike out the side gate. Okay. So I wouldn't describe what he was wearing.
That's not true. I was leaving anyway to make a phone call because I didn't want to use her telephone because she was already furious of me about the bill.
You didn't want to use my telephone. You always use my telephone. That's why it's $747 at this
you very
time.
selfish with your phone.
But yes, I'm selfish with my phone because.
Ma'am.
Quiet, please.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He asked God to destroy me, to not talk on the phone.
Ms. McBriar, everybody's got a wish list. That's his wish list.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Tamara McBriar wants her ex-boyfriend to pay the $600 phone bill she says he left behind when they split.
Miss McBriar,
yes.
Let me tell you what I don't understand here. Okay?
Yes.
At the start of this case, you told me that each month you called the phone company because you're on this fixed disability income.
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
What's the nature of your disability?
Panic attacks.
And how long have you been on
Since 1989.
You told me that you called the phone company each month so that you could set aside an amount of money
Yes,
For
Your
the
Honor.
phone bill. Now, these phone bills that you presented me with, so I assumed when you called, this $624 was for 1 month. But that's not true according to these phone bills. You're showing me bills for December, January, February, March, all totaling.
No, Your Honor. No, Your Honor. I'm not showing
Well,
you.
then-
No, I'm not.
Just a second. Then I have the bills for March,
You have the
which you're talking about, and the bill for March, the total bill. Trying to figure it out.
I have the March bill right here. The
Oh,
March
you didn't
10th.
hand it to me. You didn't hand me the front page of the March bill. Let me see the front page of the March bill, please.
That was never paid. Also, this
Just
was.
shh. Listen to me. I want you to look at these bills, madam. You're telling me that all the phone calls he made that are in question now are the bills for that 1 month, March and April, because you told me that you called each month before that to get your bill.
Yes, I do. Your
Well,
Honor.
then take these back. Take a look at those. Those say December and January. Am I
Okay.
correct? Am I correct?
No, they say April 10th.
No, keep reading.
April 10th.
Read the phones. Read the dates on the phone calls.
Okay, yes, the dates on the phone call. Those were the dates that the phone calls were made.
December, correct?
Yes.
January. Keep going. Keep looking.
I see December, January. Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Okay, so I assume you paid those.
No, I did not pay these.
Well, so I'm not following you. If you didn't pay those and you got those bills in December, January, February, and you didn't pay those bills, then you knew that there was an outstanding balance because your March bill is only $120.97.
Right.
It's $120.97.
Yes. That's money that I had to take and pay for Bernard because see, when I would ask Bernard to pay the phone bill, he would tell me that he couldn't give me the money at the time because he had to pay the rent. But I would try to explain to him that I have to pay the phone bill because my phone would be disconnected.
Let me tell you what I don't understand. Those bills that I returned to you had a lot of long-distance calls, December, January, a whole bunch of long-distance calls that you have marked off as Bernard's calls.
Exactly.
You, of necessity, had to get those bills in either the end of December or the beginning of January, the beginning of February. What did you do with those bills that you got?
What did you mean? What I did with that?
Did Bernard pay them or did you pay them?
I paid them.
He had all those long-distance calls on December and January. Didn't you discuss that with him?
Yes, I did.
Did he pay them?
No, he did not.
Had she discussed them with you?
No, well, the early ones in the past she had, and I gave her $100 before the month before I vacated the apartment. I gave her approximately $100 on the phone bill, contribute towards it, to make for all my calls, local or long distance. And that's when when she told me about the new bill, was the bill had not came yet after I gave her $100 for the first bill. That new bill came after I have gone and left the apartment, vacated.
Well,
Your Honor.
you see, this new bill for $661 doesn't list the phone calls on it.
Well, you asked me for the whole bill.
I understand that, but it's very hard for me to follow, Miss McBriar, because on the last bill, it doesn't list the phone calls. How is he supposed to know which phone calls he made?
It doesn't list the phone calls because those are the phone. Okay, that $661 is including. It hasn't been paid yet because I can't pay it. I don't have the money because they're Bernard's calls. I mean, I want my money for my phone bill. Your Honor, listen to me, please.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Please listen to me.
I'm trying.
This man, this man here is lying to you.
No, listen, Miss McBriar, look at this. I want you to look at your March 10th statement. Okay? Look at your March 10th statement. How much does it say is owed on the March 10th statement?
$120.97.
All right. So as of March 1997, you owed $120.
Yes.
Just a minute. Okay. Where is the April bill?
I have the April bill.
Tell me what is owed. And just a second, when did you move out?
I moved out possibly on the, let's see, what was it? It was, what was it, date? That's about March.
No.
What date did he move out,
He
madam?
moved out April 17th.
I knew she'd remember. Women always remember those things. Then forget. He moved out on April 17th?
Yes, he did, Your Honor.
All right. Now, so your March bill was $120.
Yes.
Now let me see the April bill.
Okay. April, here we are. Let me get it together here. Okay, this is the April bill.
Let me see it, please, with all the
Hold
calls on it.
Let me make sure I got them together for you, Your Honor.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
So I'm not going to let anyone run my phone bill up to $640 and not pay it. That's just not me.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Bernard Golden says he shouldn't have to pay a $600 phone bill because he supported Tamara McBriar for 4 years when they were living together.
Oh, you see, I see what happened, Mr. Golden. Now I got it. You made a lot of third-party calls. Because evidently the third-party calls that you made, whoever it was said, I'm not accepting these calls, so they put it all back on her bill in April. Is that what happened?
That's exactly what happened, Your Honor.
Yeah, I knew I'd get it. I knew I'd get it. I knew I'd get it. Because our April bill, sir, reflects the fact that all of these phone calls were made in December. Called from Pasadena to Washington, Sacramento, Hampton, Monterey. You know what people in those areas, sir? What were you doing, making third-party calls? Listen to me. Were you making third-party calls?
Making third-party calls? Yes.
That's what I said.
I was making collect calls.
Well, evidently, whoever initially took the collect call, sir, decided against it. Would you show him these numbers, please? Now, Mr. Golden, you say in your answer that this is all a conspiracy, sir, because she's got a new boyfriend. She wanted you out of the house.
That's true.
That's true.
That's 100% true. Yes. Yes, plus what happened was with conspiracy is that she's been talking to her ex-lover for a long time since she's been with me. He's been using up his dad's credit card and showering her down with gifts from the body shops, spending Christmas gifts.
Mr. Golden, did you join the psychic hotline?
No, ma'am, I did not.
Yes, he did, Your Honor.
No, ma'am, I did not.
Take a look at those. Take a look at those.
I don't know
bills.
how that got on his bill because she has a block.
Okay, take a look at those calls, sir. Those numbers have a familiar ring.
Some of them do.
Some of them do.
Yep.
Some of them not all.
Huh?
Your Honor,
Not
can
all.
I please show you some evidence?
I have just one quick question for you, Mr. Golden. How do you know her phone is blocked for
Because she
that?
told me. Because I made long distance calls straight from the house,
Yeah.
and she put a block on it
While you were together.
while we were together.
A vote of
And I paid
confidence
for
for
them.
you. Yes.
And I paid for the
All right.
calls.
Give me those phone calls. Now I understand what happened. Or you wanted to show me some evidence before I make a decision in this
Yes,
case?
yes, Your
Okay.
Honor, please.
I'll take the bill back. Yeah. What?
You really need to go over this. You need to look at this. And you really need to look at this.
Got to get ready for this.
You need to look at this. You need to look at this. And you really need to look at these.
And you can read one of them prayers for me too, Your Honor.
These are prayers, sir?
There's a prayer. My special prayer I'm praying to
his
Jehovah
special
Adonai.
prayers to
My
whoever.
father.
No, it's
When
not
she
your
was
father.
Just a second. What is? How is this relevant to the phone bill?
Just go ahead.
I don't want to read them all, please. I don't have time. I've got a lot of other work to do
They're
today.
relevant to the phone bill because he asked God to destroy me, to not talk on the phone, and get rid of my girlfriends and destroy me, rebuke me.
That's because
Listen to me, Miss McBriar. Everybody's got a wish list. That's his wish list.
Oh my God. Well, his
What
wish
is
list
this?
is terrible. His wish list is
Order.
What is
terrible.
this? What is
It's
this?
terrible. Look at that. Look at where he's from. Look at
That's
that.
my birth certificate.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I didn't know she
Oh
had that.
yeah. Oh yeah. Because that's where you call. That's where you call.
Oh, you mean you call? You're just showing this to me to
Yes.
show that he calls Virginia?
Yes.
He doesn't deny that he made all those calls. He can't look me straight in the eye, square in the eye, and tell me that he didn't make those calls. He did
Right.
make the calls.
Look at that. He said he cut. Look at that. That was me. That was me. That was me. He cut my face out and said he placed it under the Virgin Mary to keep us together.
You know how many wedding albums I've seen with just that sort of thing done in them?
We don't have a wedding album. We're not even married.
Judge Judy is ready to rule.
All right, listen to me. You owe her the money, sir. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You can't
Yes,
leave
ma'am.
her with this phone bill.
Okay.
It's unfortunate that your relationship didn't work out, but it didn't. You
See,
can't
but-
make all these phone calls. They didn't come to her
See, you-
until after you had vacated the premises.
See, Your Honor,
Yes.
I don't think it's fair for me to pay the bill because the reason why I said this because I supported her for 4 years. Plus, she's when she was not on disability, she was not taking her medication. I was the one who had to be there by her bedside, take her to the hospital when she had a panic attack from a chemical imbalance.
Excuse me, Your
Listen
Honor.
to me, Mr. Golden. Your arrangement was that you paid your long-distance phone bills while you were living there. Is that right?
True.
That was your arrangement?
Yes.
Because you moved out doesn't mean that arrangement ceases. You have to pay her the money. Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $640. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out, please.
And on the next judge, 50-year-old attorney Jerome Gigliotti says Monica Kemp slashed his tires and keyed his car in the post office parking lot.
Order. All rise. Quiet in the courtroom, please. Quiet in the courtroom, ma'am. Judge, this is case number 290 on the calendar in the matter of Gigliotti versus Kemp. Parties have been sworn in, Your Honor. You may be seated. Have a seat, ma'am.
Mr. Gigliotti, you were going to the post office.
Yes, Your Honor.
You were driving.
Yes, Your Honor.
According to your complaint, you got to the post office and looking for a place to park, and all the parking spots were taken.
It was about 10:40 in the morning. I drove into the parking lot. I noticed there was no spaces available. I looked over the parking space for the handicapped, and there was a car there, and I noticed that it had Louisiana license plates that were not handicap provided. I also looked at the front mirror to see if there was a placard there.
So you got out of your car?
Yes, I did. And then I went back to my car and I took out a Polaroid camera, and I took a picture of the car and my car as it was seated in the parking space for the handicapped, and then I wrote down the license plate number. And I also noticed when I was around front that it had a Navy parking sticker on it. So I copied down the number of that also.
Okay. So far, what you were doing is you were outraged that somebody parked in the handicap parking spot.
Exactly, Your Honor.
Okay, so then what did you do?
Well, as I was writing down the license plate number from the car that was parked there, it was a black Plymouth, a woman came out of the post office, and she started yelling and screaming and waving her arms. She was waving her arms like this. And she said, you move that car, I'll move you.
What do you mean? I don't understand. Why did you have to move your car?
I had pulled in behind the car that was in the parking space in order to get out of the driveway, because the driveway was right next to that parking space. I pulled in behind it.
So you blocked the car?
Yes.
Now, when you looked inside the car, did you see anybody in the car?
I didn't notice anybody at that time, Your Honor.
Okay, so you had now blocked the car, and the woman came out and said, you better move the car.
Yes.
What did you do?
She was yelling and screaming, and I was absolutely certain that she was going to cause some violence. So I walked away from her and walked into the post office and called the police.
Why didn't you just get into your car and move your car?
I didn't think I had that much time. She was coming at me rather fast, rather loud.
Order.
Yeah, go ahead.
And while I was waiting in the post office, Miss Corbett, who was going to be the witness, came in and said, is that your car with the handicap placard in the parking lot? And I said, yes, it was. And she said, that woman just keyed your car. And I went out to the parking lot to see if I could see where she had keyed the car, but she was still walking up and down between the two cars, yelling and screaming and throwing her arms around. So I didn't go out there. I just waited until the police came. And when the police came, I did go out and I inspected the car, and it had been keyed, the entire driver's side.
Okay. You do have handicap plates on your car?
I do.
Why is that, sir?
Because I have a back injury that limits my ability to walk.
How long have you had that back injury?
2.5 years.
And how long have you had the handicap plates?
About 1.5 years.
Mm-hmm. Step up, please.
Yes.
Can you tell me your name?
Yes, I'm Janice Corbett.
Miss Corbett, I assume you work in the post office. You're the postal worker.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you see this lady key his car?
I saw this lady do a keying motion to his car.
Describe what you saw.
I saw her talking with another woman
and some children, and she had her keys in her hand. She was frustrated. Then she went to the side of his car, and her arm turned. I could not actually see the key in her hand at this moment, but her arm was turned so I could see this part, and she walked stiff-armed alongside the car.
Ms. Kemp?
Yes.
According to your complaint, and you have a countersuit against the plaintiff for unlawful imprisonment of both you and your children, who you say were in the car.
Yes.
How many children did you have in the car?
3.
How old are they?
At the time, the twins were 4 months old, and Nicholas was 5 years old.
What were you doing at the post office?
I went to the post office that morning to mail a few letters and to purchase stamps. I did pull in to a handicapped spot. Yes, I know that was wrong, but thinking that I would be in there 2 to 3 minutes, I knew I would be right back out. I just didn't think there would be a problem. So, and I was in a hurry because I went there before I brought Nicholas to school. So we went into the post office, my kids and I did what I had to do. I stopped at the front counter to make out some things on the...
How are you holding the twins?
They were in a stroller.
So you actually took them out of the car and put the twins in the stroller?
Yes.
And Nicholas was with you?
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And we went into the post office. Like I said, on the way out, I stopped at the desk to put the stamps on, and also I did that. We went back to the car. He said I was waving my arms. I didn't even recognize him because I was in such a hurry to get Nicholas to school. But I got in the car. As I looked back to see if my pathway was clear, then I realized he was parked behind me. So that parking lot is really small. So I thought maybe he was just trying to maneuver his way out of it. He didn't move. So I just sat there and waited a second because I didn't really know what he was doing. So he didn't move. I saw him come out of his trunk with a camera. So he started to take pictures. And so I didn't think anything. And then I looked up and there was this handicapped. I said, okay, I know what he's doing and I know what I did. So I got out and I was not enraged because I knew I was wrong. I became upset when he said he was not going to move. So I waited until he was done with it because I thought that would be the end of it. He's taking pictures. This is his evidence. They'll give me a ticket. That was not the end of it. So he went into the front part of his car to do what I don't know. So that's when I took a step to the back of my car and I asked him, would he then move? He said there was no way in hell he was going to move. And he was the person that was yelling. I was not yet upset because I wasn't quite sure what his intentions were yet.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
When she came out, she was so violent that I was absolutely certain it was going to get into fisticuffs.
I don't believe you, sir. I
She's
don't
got
believe
30
you.
years and 30 pounds on me.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Jerome Gigliotti says Monica Kemp slashed his tires and keyed his car in the post office parking lot. Monica says Jerome blocked her car so she couldn't pull out, leaving her and her children trapped.
You knew you had done something wrong.
Right.
But you knew that what he was doing, that he was gathering evidence so that he could present it to give you a ticket.
After a while.
Okay.
And he told me there was no way in hell he was going to move. I then started to tell him that, I had to get Nicholas to school. I informed him that I did not have any more formula for my kids because I didn't bring any because I was intending a quick trip to the post office and to school.
I assume you were pretty hot at this point, Ms. Kemp. I assume you were.
I was not angry yet because I thought once I told him that, he would move. And I offered him other information of mine. I told him he could have my driver's license number. I did notice when he came to the front of the car, he was copying down my military information. I asked him, didn't he have enough information? He was ignoring me. When I offered more information, he ignored me. And at this point, when he started to walk off, I was like, I don't believe this. You are going to let us out, aren't you? And he just walked off. And so there was another woman who came up and she just started to ask me what was the problem and are you okay, because by this point I had become extremely emotional because it's like, okay, this man is not going to move and my kids are in the car and it's hot and they were starting to cry and I was just really upset. I was scared. So she tried to calm me down. She went in the post office and she asked him to move. And
did somebody else come into the post office and ask you to move, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Why didn't you?
I told her I wasn't going to go out there so long as that other woman, Miss Kemp, was out there.
All they wanted you to do was move the car.
You
Sir.
did not see the condition that she was. She was yelling and screaming, waving her arms, and there was no way I was going to get into a fight with her.
What was I going to do, throw a
Just a
baby
second.
at you?
Just a second.
I had a baby in
Just a
my
second.
arm.
You know that all she wanted you to do was to move your car. She wasn't going to get into a fight with you, because if she got into a fight with you, she couldn't get her kids in her car out. Come on, sir. Let's be honest with each other. You were very angry that someone had parked in the handicapped spot that was really reserved for you. Now, I can understand that. I can really understand that. There's nothing to suggest that you did anything wrong in taking down the license plate number, copying down the Navy information, taking a photograph of her parking in that spot. I'm telling you now, I do have a problem with you blocking her car, especially when you knew that there were children with her. Twins, under 6 months old, and her son. I do. I mean, you came into court today not in a wheelchair, sir. You didn't come in a wheelchair, and you didn't come in a stretcher. So I don't know how come it is that you got a handicapped parking placard. I have difficulty walking too sometimes. Nobody's going to give me a handicapped parking placard. Right? Even Bird here sometimes gets tired, right, Bird? So, can't get a holier-than-thou approach to life, sir, and look at everything reasonably. I mean, this is a situation that was a fast-paced situation, but try to have a little understanding. She was prepared to get a ticket. You could have seen to it that she got a ticket. But you went a little overboard. Now, that doesn't excuse the fact that you keyed his car.
I did not key his car.
Somebody keyed his car. Let me see the pictures of your car. Come on, Miss Kemp. So far, you've been very honest with me. So far, I believe you've been very honest with me.
I have been.
That's right. Xeroxes. Yeah. And aside from the scratch marks on your car, you also had a blown tire, is that right?
No, Your Honor, it wasn't blown, it was
What was it?
slashed. I have a cast of the tire here that shows it's a very neat cut. And when I took it into the tire repair place, they said they couldn't patch it and that it had gone about a half an inch into the tire. And it's a very narrow cut, so you can see there was a cut and there wasn't road damage.
If it was cut, you must have cut it, because I didn't.
Let me take a look at that, please. Well, it's kind of hard to slash a tire with a key.
May I say something?
Sure.
I would like to know if his tire was slashed, how did he back out to let me out? How did he get out?
I just said to you, I don't think he can establish through any witness that he has today that you did anything to the tire of his car. That's not what this witness said. Miss Kemp, look at me, dear.
I'm looking.
Keying his car. Saying, Miss Kemp, I'm not suggesting to you that the situation didn't enrage you. You had a right to be enraged.
I know.
I believe you had a right to be enraged. What you did was a violation. Sir, what she was engaged in was a violation. I find it disingenuous on your part to suggest that you feared for your life, and when you called the police, you said that a woman had just assaulted you, because that's what you wrote in your complaint. This woman never assaulted you. If she came out swinging her arms and being very agitated because her car was blocked, that is not an assault.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm an attorney, Your Honor.
You must have a very slow practice.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Jerome Gigliotti says Monica Kemp did damage to his car at the post office. Monica denies she did anything wrong and says Jerome overreacted by blocking her car for 2 hours.
Let me explain something to you, sir.
You need help.
What you found was a violation. No different from finding somebody parked in front of a fire hydrant. Same kind of violation. the action that you took was not in direct proportion to the violation that you observed. Once, sir, you observed this lady and her children. She had 3 little kids. Wisdom would have been the better part of your action, and if you would have said, I now have the proof to take to the police, this is her car, this is this, she is going to get a ticket for parking in a handicapped spot, which was clearly wrong, you and I would have had no problem. And if she vandalized your car, which I believe that you did, Ms. Kemp.
I see that, but I didn't.
Yes, you did. Your action was not responsive to what you saw, sir. You did not exercise good, mature judgment. Good, mature judgment would have meant, once you saw what she had in the car, which was 3 small children, you pulled the car out, let her leave, report it to the police, go to the Army barracks, do whatever you wanted to do in order to see to it that she had to pay an appropriate fine. It would have aggravated her enough to have paid a fine. What you chose to do was to create and incite a situation by blocking her car. That was dumb, stupid, and I guarantee you, if she had been 6'4" and a man walking out of that post office, you would not have blocked the car. No question in my mind, you would not have blocked that car. So,
Your Honor,
I have a
I
lawsuit.
didn't intend to block her car.
You
I
did.
intended to take down the information.
You did.
When she came out, she was so violent that I was absolutely certain it was going to get into fisticuffs.
I don't believe you, sir. I don't believe
got 30
you.
years and 30 pounds on me.
I don't believe you, sir. All
30
you had
years,
to do,
you wish.
all you had to do was
Look
get
like my
in your
great-grandfather.
car. You had already taken the pictures. Get in your car and leave. And she, with her 3 small children, was not going to assault you. And you will never convince me otherwise, sir. Never. So, you have a lawsuit, and you are suing her for $5,000 for illegally parking in a handicapped space.
Your Honor, I later found out that she lives 1 block from the post office.
And?
Just a second.
She
My
could have
son-
walked home if she wanted to. It's 1 block away.
And you
Sir
could have
Shea,
moved.
please don't respond to him.
You're right, I shouldn't.
Please don't respond to him. First of all, how did you find out she lives a block away from the post office?
I took the license plate down and I used the DMV in New Orleans, in Louisiana and Baton Rouge to find the registered owner. And then through the Postal Service, I obtained a forwarding address from that address to the address in San Diego.
Do you work?
Yes.
What kind of shop? What kind of work do you do?
I'm an attorney, Your Honor.
You must have a very slow practice.
Yes. That's what I think.
Because if you took the time over this nonsense that you have just told me about,
Yes.
you'd be far better to donate some of your time and some of your energy, sir, to the poor. I was sympathetic to you up to a point. There isn't a soul who drives a car that isn't infuriated when they are driving around and around and around and looking for a parking space and see somebody who has abused their parking privilege and parked in a handicapped spot. Not a soul who's driven a car who hasn't had that kind of frustration. You took it a step too far. And she has a cross complaint against you for $5,000 for unlawful imprisonment for a period of well over 20 minutes. Is that what it was?
No.
How long?
It was like 3 hours.
Until, from the time he blocked your car until the time the police came, how much time elapsed?
From the time he blocked me until the time the first set of police arrived?
How many sets of police arrived?
They had to call someone else to make him move because he, and that's on my cross complaint also, about the intentional infliction of emotional distress. This is when my son became emotional because he would still not move. They had to call someone else to make him move.
Why wouldn't you move when
he
the first set
wanted
of
me arrested?
Why wouldn't you move when the first set of police came?
The first set of police never asked me to move my car.
I heard him.
Well, you were no longer in fear.
That's
never
true.
asked.
Just a second. You were no longer in fear, sir, because you now had police officers around. Why didn't you just move your car?
Because they didn't tell me to. All they wanted to do was talk to me.
He's lying.
Judge Judy is ready to rule.
I believe you keyed his car. Right? Let him fix it. I believe that your children suffered during that period of time. And I assume you'll never park in a
I haven't
parking
even
space
been
again.
back to that place.
Never. Your complaint is dismissed, and your countersuit is dismissed.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
Parties on Davenport versus Agatep. Step forward, please.
33-year-old Gina Davenport says when her father passed away, his common-law wife, Cleta Agatep, began withdrawing money from his checking account. Gina claims the money was part of her inheritance.
Order. All rise. Quiet in the courtroom, please. All rise. Your Honor, this is case number 315 on the calendar in the matter of Davenport versus Agatep. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated.
Miss Davenport, the defendant in this case was the companion of your father, who died recently.
Right.
And he died recently without a will.
Right.
Your complaint is that the defendant took money out of a checking account that was your father's.
Correct.
And that money rightfully belongs to his heirs, it's in this case you and whatever siblings you have, because if you die without a will, under the laws of this jurisdiction, your children inherit. That's your position.
Correct.
And it's your position that her father, with whom you lived for how long?
8 years.
Wanted you to have that money. You consider yourself his common-law wife.
Well, right, yeah, in a way, yes.
Before I get to the actual dollars in this case, which really aren't a lot, according to what I see here, you say that there was about $6,000.
A little over that when my father passed away.
When he died, and that there was some $3,000 left in the account that you did in fact take.
My sister went and closed the account out because she lived by the bank, right?
So that at this point, according to your complaint, owes you $3,000.
Right.
Correct?
I don't know her anything.
Just a second. I understand your position, and your position was that there was more money in that account, and that Ernest wanted you to have that money.
Yes, he did.
Okay. My primary concern, Miss Davenport, quite frankly, is with you, after reading your complaint. Because neither the complaint nor the answer told me how long the defendant lived with your father. But it was a long time.
Yes.
Your father died of cancer.
Yes, he did.
How long was he ill?
Probably really ill for the last 6 months. He wasn't, fortunately, it went fairly fast for,
No, he was ill for 9 months.
Well,
and the last month was really tough
Nobody ever
on him.
disputed that.
Miss Davenport, you just said to her, nobody ever disputed that.
She did take care of my father.
I quite frankly am at a loss then why you're here and why you've pursued this lawsuit.
Because if she had asked for the money or something, it would have been, we probably would have given it to her. My father left her a $10,000 life insurance policy. He left her a paid-for house, and my father told me not too long before he died that between the money in his checks.
How much money in stocks did he have?
He had 506 shares of stock worth probably $32 to $34
He
a
wanted me
share.
to...
Which, worth what?
Between $32 and $34 a share.
What were his total assets?
$40,000 maybe.
$40,000. And how many siblings are there?
5.
Okay. During the last 6 to 9 months, when your companion was ill and you were caring for him, how many times then, not counting Ms. Davenport, did the other 4 children come down and say to you, you're taking care of him, I know he's very sick, would like to help you out for...
None.
All right, I believe that.
None.
I believe that. Now, Ms. Davenport, you tell me, how many times did you go there and care for him for more than a day?
For more than a day?
More than a day.
More than a day, I couldn't.
What do you mean you couldn't?
I lived a long ways away and I have a small child at home. I went down there probably, I think, 4 times in 6 months before he passed away.
Then, Ms. Davenport, let me tell you this. This is not going to be a very long case. As far as I'm concerned, you ought to lean over and kiss both of her hands and her feet. Because she took care of your father. She showered him. She made sure he got to the bathroom. She washed him.
Yes, she did.
Quiet. She fed him. She made sure that he was taken care of, something that if she wasn't around, either his children would have had to do, and had to do something about taking care of your children and your small children and your brothers and sisters, their jobs and everything else, or you would have had to have put him in some sort of an institution, which would have cost money, probably more than your $40,000 that you got, or you would have had to have paid somebody substantially more than $3,000 over 6 months to take care of him. Now, something that you said really irritates me. And what you said to me was, if she would have asked us, we would have given it to her. She didn't have to be asked to take care of your father. She took care of your father. She didn't have to be asked to take him to the bathroom.
Can I say something yet?
Just a second. She took him there. So, and we're not talking about your entire inheritance of $40,000. What your complaint is, Miss Davenport, is that for a period of immediately before and immediately after his death, she went to the bank and withdrew at $300 increments half, you say half, of what was in that account, which was $3,000. So I, quite frankly, don't understand you at all. You couldn't get a nurse for $3,000 a month to take care of a critically ill cancer patient at home. So now that I've said my piece, you can say yours.
Thank you. For one, if anybody had asked, my father told me didn't want anybody down there trying to take care of him. If anybody had asked, I would have come down there. Like I said, if she had no right to go in there. If he had wanted her to have that money, why didn't she just go in there and take it all out of the bank at once? Why did she have to go in there?
She could have.
10 days in a row and take it out of an ATM machine instead of going into the bank and getting the money out. If that was money was meant for her, that money was not meant for her.
What I'm telling you, you're not following what I'm saying to you. Unfortunately, when parents either get old or unfortunately if they become seriously ill, usually if there is no spouse, children bear the burden of taking care of their parent.
That's right.
And they have to turn their lives upside down, usually, in order to do that. That means that if you have a young child, and if you want to take care of your responsibility to your father, that means that you find a babysitter for your child, you move into his home, you care for him. You didn't have to do that. And your 4 brothers and sisters, well, what are we going to do? Just leave him there to languish? Who was going to feed him?
He was only bedridden like that at the very end.
What's the very end? A month?
For a month, yes, probably.
Well, let's say a month, madam. Who was going to take care of him for a month?
If he would have let me, I would have, but he wouldn't let me.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
You yourself in your complaint says he was a very difficult man.
Yes, he was.
Very difficult. Hard to get along with.
And later today,
according to your papers, your wife was leading you on and then tossing you out.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
And then you were really mad.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Gina Davenport is suing her deceased father's common-law wife, Cleta Agatep, because she took money out of his checking account. Cleta claims the money was rightfully hers.
You took money out of this ATM?
Yes, I did.
How much money did you take out?
I don't, about $1,500.
Now, you have a counterclaim here, which I assume that you filed after they filed their suit.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
All right. Now, you understand that because you were not legally married to him, under the laws of the state, because he died without a will, legally, you're not entitled to his money. You understand that?
Okay.
But he did provide for you in other ways. He left a life insurance policy for you?
$10,000.
Okay. So the only thing she says she took out of that joint account was $1,500, and there is at least, in my judgment, she had access to that account clearly through your father, who gave her both his ATM card and his PIN number, which means he gave her total access to that money. More important, there's a moral issue here, Ms. Davenport, that I quite frankly, who was able to sleep in her own bed at night with her child next to her and not have to nurse a terminally ill cancer patient who was her father for either a month or 6 months or 9 months, shouldn't be standing in a court trying to recoup from his longtime companion who lovingly cared for him until the end $3,000 or $1,500. You should say, I'm really grateful that somebody who cared for my father, because you yourself in your complaint says he was a very difficult man.
Yes, he was.
Very difficult, hard to get along with. So here you have somebody who took care of you, a very difficult, hard to get along with, terminally ill father, and you're here over pennies. Well, I'm here to tell you, your case is dismissed. I'm also here to tell you that you're not entitled to any more than what you got. Do you understand?
Yes.
Good. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Out the back door to your right.
And now the next case.
Parties on Thomas versus Simonetta. Step forward, please.
25-year-old mechanic Christopher Thomas is suing 34-year-old Stephen Simonetta for assault. Christopher claims the fight started because he is romantically involved with Stephen's estranged wife.
Mr. Thomas, you are living with the defendant's soon-to-be ex-wife.
Yes, Your Honor.
How long was he separated from his wife?
I think it was a couple of months.
And do you know how long they were married?
9 years.
You have children?
Yes, 2.
And they live with your wife?
With her, yeah.
And she was living with him?
Yes.
Okay. Where did this assault take place, sir?
In our home.
You were living with his wife and their 2 children in her home?
Yes.
That she used to share with him?
They never shared it.
They never lived there together?
I think maybe a total of 1 week.
So the assault took place in the home. Tell me about it.
I got off work and I went in the bedroom to take off my work clothes and change. And I heard the defendant and walk in and...
Is your girlfriend?
Yes.
His wife?
Yes. And he started arguing with my witness, Christy. And then he comes storming in the bedroom and shut the door behind him and threatened me and told me that I had to leave out of the house and asked me if I was going to move out. Then stormed in, got him outside, and they were leaving. And then he came running back in the house and he goes, "Hit me." And I said...
He said to you, "Hit me"?
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I didn't answer him, and the next thing I know, Christy's helping me up off the floor.
Now, Mr. Simonetta?
Simonetta.
Mr. Simonetta, you, sir, don't deny that you hit him.
No, I don't. In self-defense, I didn't just run in the house and start hitting on him, no.
According to your papers, your wife was leading you on and then tossing you out.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
And according to you, in your answer, when this gentleman went off to jail for a period of time, and your wife is a little bit lonely because he's not around. Is that what happened, Mr. Simonetta?
Yes.
So she gives you a call one night. I mean, that's not all in here. I'm just sort of putting it together. So she gives you a call and says, "I miss you, honey. Come home."
Well, we were trying to get resolved, being he was out, and we could get established our relationship back together, being there was nobody around to interfere with it. And
That's what was in your head.
Yes.
But clearly it was not in your wife's head.
No.
Right?
Right.
She just didn't like to be alone for that couple of months.
Apparently, yeah, yes.
Because as soon as he came out of jail...
The day before I got restraining order. And kicked right back.
Mr. Simonetta, just look at me.
Yes,
sir.
I was mad.
You were really, really mad. Now, I don't tell you you didn't have a right to be mad.
Yeah.
You just got mad at the wrong person. You understand that? It's easier to blame him, maybe. The truth of the matter is, he probably didn't like the idea that she was playing both guys any more than you did. He didn't know.
He didn't know.
So if he didn't know, then he couldn't have been playing it. It was all
He didn't know until later on into the relationship when I ended up just discussing this and confronting him with it.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
You're not following me, sir. What are you, thick?
Yes, you're right. I was sleeping in the house. The kids were waking up to me, yes.
And sometimes they wake up and find him sleeping in the house with their mother, right?
Apparently, yes.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Fighting over a woman. Christopher Thomas wants medical bills and lost wages from Stephen Simonetta.
Mr. Simonetta?
I understand.
I want you to look at me now and you tell me how it happened.
The day, a week before it happened, we were going to get together and go to the house and see what happened, what was going to go on, whether they were playing roommate or boyfriend and girlfriend or what, I didn't know.
Just a roommate set up. Yeah, and I was stupid. Me fell into the whole the game, into believing it. We made a date. We was going to go up to the house, see the kids, talk about what was going to go on. He was supposed to be there. I told her on the way up there I was going to confront him, ask him if anything was going on. Was it a roommate thing or a boyfriend-girlfriend thing? I walked into the house. I went into the back room. I was with the kids for a minute. I went into the back half of the house. He would
just say to him when you started talking.
I said, "So, are you guys still got a relationship going on or what?" She came up and started saying something. I walked into the room. I shut the door behind me. I said, "Are you sleeping with her?" He said, "Yes." I opened the door back up. I said, "Are you sleeping with her?" And he said, "Yes." She heard him say that. I said, "There it is there." I turned and walked out the house. I said, "It's through." I walked out the house. I got out to the curb. I thought about losing my kids. The family was dead. I didn't want to, it started eating at me. I ran back into the house. He was in the corner of the kitchen. I said, "You ruined my life." He went like this, and I clocked him. He hit the ground. I turned around and walked out of the house, and that was my story. That was it.
Mr. Simonetta,
Yeah.
everything that you said to me, I'm sympathetic about. Other than the fact that you hit him. Because your kids were home.
My kids were outside when it happened.
Kids were home.
Okay.
I mean, I don't understand the kind of environment these children are growing up in anyway. One night you're sleeping in the house, one night he's sleeping in the house,
No,
one night she's sleeping in the house with him, one night he's sleeping in the house. What?
I had my own house.
But you did sleep in that house. You told me
No.
for a while.
I came back to the house when he left for 2 weeks.
I
the day
understand.
before I got,
So the kids-
I had my own apartment at that time.
You're not listening to me, Mr. Simonetta. The kids are waking up seeing, for 2 weeks, according to you,
Yeah,
you
'cause
sleeping
everything-
in the house?
It was going to work out. Yes, you're right.
You're not following
You're right,
me,
yes.
sir. What are you, thick?
Yes, you're right. I was sleeping in the house. The kids were waking up to me, yes.
And sometimes they wake up and find him sleeping in the house with their mother, right?
Apparently, yes.
And sometimes, according to you, your kids wake up and find him sleeping with her,
Yes.
according to you.
Mm-hmm.
Judy is ready to rule.
He had no right to hit him, Mr. Simonetta. You got to pay for it. Where are your medical bills?
Your Honor.
What?
He also, at my prior house, let's see, he came through the door looking for me, and I was not there, and he assaulted and busted up some furniture.
Who cares about that? What does that have to do with this case?
I was just letting you know that this ain't the first time that he was wanting to threaten me and hurt me.
Let me explain something to you, sir. This is some piece of work. Now, she's not here today to defend herself to any of this, right? But what I'm hearing, and I believe him because he pretty much almost admitted to me that whatever he did, he shouldn't have done. He assaulted you, and I'm going to give you money for that. I'm going to give you what you're asking for, in all probability. Well, your medical bills, right?
Yes.
You're entitled to that. He had no reason to hit him, Mr. Simonetta. And the fact that he's only suing you for $1,200 to me is very interesting because really, he was injured. You injured him, clocked him.
Yep.
He passed out. Plaintiff in the amount of $1,200 as requested. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
You're right.
And on the next Judge Judy.
She's spineless, and she's with him, and it's a big old threesome house game that they got going on. And
What's going on with my husband and his girlfriend, Steve, that you were living with?
She's got a big old game going on.
Is on Apollinaro versus Madison. Step forward, please.
Amante and Emma Apollinario are suing their tenant, 34-year-old Marissa Madazan, claiming Marissa stole 2 pieces of Tupperware and her son ruined their computer.
Order, all rise. Quiet in the courtroom, please, all rise. Your Honor, this is case number 134 on the calendar in the matter of Apolinario versus Madizone. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated. Have a seat.
You folks rented a room in your home to the defendant, correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
And your complaint alleges that her little boy broke a computer?
That's right.
There's a very short piece about the computer in your complaint. And a very long piece about a piece of Tupperware that she took.
Here they are.
So, it says that you rented one of your master bedrooms in your home. Why did you decide to do that?
For extra money, Your Honor.
Did you put an ad in the paper?
Yes, we put it in the ad in the papers.
And she responded to the ad?
She responded to the ad, and she seems to be a nice person. And on the first day, she told us, it looks like that she already knew us. She tell us a lot of stories about her problems, even the first meeting. So
you decided to rent her a room?
That's right.
Yeah.
And you were living there with your son?
I was.
How old is your son?
He was 4.5. And when I responded to the ad, I talked to them. I wanted to meet them and see if I can trust them and everything like that. And they lied to me. They told me that they only have 3 kids and a niece that living in that house. And then I found out when I was already living there were like 11 people with 2 sisters and 2 children of each.
So why didn't you move out?
I moved out because...
No, why didn't you immediately when you found out that there were so many people there? If that bothered you, why didn't you leave?
Right. I was in the middle of job change. And it was so many furnitures. I have a lot of things in the storage and a lot of stuff that I have to move. And it was a hassle because I got a new job nearby to that house in that city. So I thought that I can have a good relationship with them.
Fine. So it didn't make any difference to you that there were so many people living there?
Right.
You stayed there?
I did.
All right. Now let's get to the broken computer. This is not a big deal. You had a son. How old is he?
He was 4.5.
You say he broke your computer.
Yes, Your Honor.
Who saw him do that?
I got a witness, my daughter, who was inside the room at that time.
How old are you?
8.
8? What is your name?
Angeline.
Angelina? Come up here. Have a seat. Can you get up there? Sure you can. Hi.
Hi.
Do you go to school?
Yeah.
I have a few questions to ask you, okay? Because you're only 8 years old, so I have to find out whether I can swear you to take an oath in court. You're very pretty. Are you nervous? Don't be. What grade are you in school?
Second, but I'm going to be in 3rd.
Do you have a best friend in school?
Yeah.
Did you ever tell a fib?
No.
A lie?
No.
Did you ever tell a lie to your folks? To your mom, to your dad? Even a little one?
No.
Not even a little one?
Yeah.
When you told a little lie to your mom and dad, did you get punished?
Yeah.
Now, if I were to tell you that this was a duck, would that be the truth or a lie?
Lie.
Because it's what?
About that.
Now, Angelina, if I were to tell you that the judge, that's me, right, is a young, beautiful woman, would that be the truth or a lie?
Truth.
Yes! Very smart little girl. Very smart little girl. Okay. Could you do me a favor, and I'm going to let you sit there. Can you raise your right hand? You know your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know this lady's little boy?
Yeah.
What's his name?
DJ.
Did you see him do anything to the computer?
Yeah.
What did you see him do?
He put the disk in the computer.
And did something happen to the computer after he did that?
Yeah, it broke.
How do you know it broke, Angelina?
Well, I didn't really check it, but my brother told me it was broken.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
But listen to me, you're
Your
not
Honor.
going to waste my time with
I got a
Tupperware that's
witness.
worth $3.
Not even. It's at my cost. It's only $1.65.
And later today,
All she could do was stand there and let him abuse me after 8 years of friendship.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Marissa Madazan, a 34-year-old travel agent, says she should not be responsible for damage that Amante and Emma Apolinario say her son caused to their computer.
Now, did you have a discussion with the defendant about this computer?
Yes, Your Honor, and many times she agreed to repair it. She even called her friend to look at it. And all I was
Did you do
thinking-
that?
Yes, I tried, but I told them that I cannot accept it. But they are all over me and telling me that my son is the youngest, that he's the only one capable of destroying that computer.
Yes, go ahead.
She's a liar.
No.
She keeps on promising us, especially me. She told me before, after she moved out, after June 15, she went back to my house. And she said, I asked her, where is the parts that you want to buy for our computer? She said, oh, I already ordered it. I already ordered it,
Did you
and
tell
it's
her
my
that?
mind. That's
Did
my
you tell her that
responsibility.
you had already
That's
ordered
what she
the
said
parts?
to me.
Shh. Did you tell? Listen to me. Did you tell her that you had ordered the parts for the computer?
I said I will order it.
Okay. Well, then you agreed to pay for it. How much were the parts?
It's $100 something.
Your Honor?
Yes.
I thought that the CD-ROM was only defective, but it wasn't the CD-ROM that was defective.
Sir, you didn't pay all that much money for the whole computer.
I did.
No, you didn't.
What happened is, when they told me that the computer is broken, the computer is all over, it's torn apart.
Bottom line is you agreed to pay for the parts.
This is what I
Period.
said.
You agreed to pay for the parts. Now, how much were the parts that you agreed to pay for?
It's $125.
Okay. Next, what's about this Tupperware? Tell me about the Tupperware.
Can I just say something before
No,
that?
tell me about the Tupperware.
Okay.
I'm getting frustrated.
Well, she went on June 15. It was June 15? Yeah.
June 15, she left the house,
Yeah.
and then she went back. She left Sunday. She went back Wednesday, and me and my husband and my kids are there, supposed to be leaving, going to church. And she went by, and then
Give me
she
the
said,
Tupperware,
okay,
please.
the Tupperware. She's asking me about the Tupperware. I saw it in the garage. I told her, I never see any Tupperware of yours. What I know is
What is in the bag, madam?
This is what happened. Before I left on Sunday.
Is that the Tupperware that,
Yes, it
that
is.
you're wasting my time about? Could I
Yes.
see it, please?
Here.
Yeah, it's funny.
Just a second. Whose Tupperware is that?
Mine.
Both items?
Yes. And I have more other parts that were stolen from their garage.
That's all I'm hearing.
That's why I wanted to tell you the story. Before I left, I asked her permission if I can leave my boxes because I didn't have any more room in my car, that I
Just a
can pick
second.
them up.
Which? Not interested in that. Which of these two items do you say is yours?
All of those are mine. I have a receipt here that I have lots of Tupperware in my house.
She bought my
Your Honor?
Tupperwares. I'm a dealer for less cost. Less
Your-
cost of what I bought of my Tupperware. She bought.
Oh, you're not going to listen to me. You're
Your
not
Honor.
going to waste my
Excuse me,
time
Your
with
Honor. I got a
Tupperware that's worth
witness.
$3.
Your Honor?
I know, that's right.
Not even. Not
What?
even. It's at my cost. It's only $1.65.
Fine. Would you you're giving it to her? Perfect. We've resolved the Tupperware.
I have plenty. She bought all my
Stop.
Tupperwares.
We've just resolved the
I'm a dealer.
Tupperware.
Can I say something?
About what?
She come to my house and she got the Tupperware without my knowledge. Without
I
her
told her
knowledge.
needs.
I'm the owner of the house.
Listen to me. Wow.
She admitted.
I couldn't believe when I read this complaint that there were 2 lines about a broken computer and 20 lines about Tupperware. I couldn't understand that. I still don't understand that.
Because
Must
you
be
have a witness,
very
Your Honor.
valuable Tupperware.
Well,
you
Your-
now
Your
have it
Honor.
back. Quiet. Look, you have to pay them $125. Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Big liar.
And now the next case.
Parties on Pinkham versus Crawford. Step forward, please.
26-year-old waitress Catherine Pinkham is suing her former friend and roommate, Chandra Crawford. Catherine claims she was kicked out of their apartment after getting into a fight with Chandra's fiancé.
Okay, you two ladies were long-term friends, I gather. And there came a time when you were living at different parts of the country, but you decided to move to California. Correct? And you decided to live together. Made arrangements to live together. You were looking for the right kind of place. And you were moving to sunny
California.
Right. But in the meantime, you found a boyfriend.
Yes.
Tom.
Yes.
So instead of being the two of you, it was going to be 3. You should have known right then and there. 2's company.
And 3's a crowd.
So why don't you tell me what happened and what you're suing her for?
Okay, well, I spent over $3,000 just in moving expenses, moving cross country. That is not what I'm suing her for. Basically, it's we made arrangements. We started about a year and a half ago that we're going to live together as soon as I finish school. I received my degree. I moved cross country. I was in the house from September 8th until the 21st of the month. That night, I realized that. Well, actually, I realized little things here and there over a period of time that her boyfriend and I did not get along. I didn't like the way he was treating her.
What was wrong with the way he was treating her?
He tells her what to wear. She waits on him hand and foot. She pays all the bills for him. He has no job. He drives around in her car all day, sits on his butt and watches video games. And I just didn't like the way I ended up paying, like, I was supposed to originally pay a third of the security and a third of the rent. All of a sudden, before I was moving out, oh, can you pay half the security and half the rent? And I'm like, well, what about timeshare? Well, his job didn't come through yet, and da-da-da-da. And basically, I want you to pay half, and then we'll reimburse you. Well,
so did you do that?
I paid half, and I have receipts right here.
How much did you pay altogether?
$13.50, and I have all the receipts with her name.
Okay.
And then I agreed to do it as long as he paid me his share back. I never saw the money. And I'm like, I was there for 2 weeks. There were squabbles here and there. They tried to throw me out after 3 days because he disliked my sister. So they didn't like my friend that came out with me that was also helping me in the move. So he decided, because he didn't like my sister and didn't like my friend, he wanted me out. So he tried to throw me out after 3 days, and I stood my ground and I said, listen, you know, I've invested all this money into this place. The last thing I want to do is leave right now. I mean, it was just a big mess. Well, after he barely ever maybe said 2 or 3 words to me at a time.
What happened at the end of September when you
Okay,
left?
what happened the night is I wasn't feeling well one day. We were watching TV. I mentioned there was a commercial on for pesto crust pizza. I mentioned that I disliked pizza because I was living on the East Coast and that I prefer the pizza on the East Coast better, and that I don't recommend eating it. He got up, stormed out of the room, and slammed the door. So I was just sitting there going, okay, what just happened? She came in the room 5 minutes later, Chandra did, and said, you've been bitching all day, about all kinds of things, and, you know, I can tell you don't feel well, and, you know, and I said, listen, Chandra, I said, I'm going to find my own place. It's just not working out because he's just not being very nice to me, and I've made efforts to be nice to him, and it's not working.
Okay, so?
So she went outside and told him that I thought it would be best that I moved out. He wouldn't come into the house, so when she came into the house, I kind of said, well, I don't feel well, but I'm going to go out and run some errands so he can come into the house, and you guys can talk, and I'll come back in a bit. I leave, I come back, I see him tearing down the street in her Jeep. I pull up to the house, she comes outside of the house shaking her head, going, you can't be here in 5 minutes. He said it was either you or him. And I said, you chose him? She goes, yes. And I said, well, can I go into the house and get some of my things? As I was in there, he came back. He was calling me pretty much every profane word you can think of, being very, very rude, getting in my face, threatening me, overpowering me, and, you know, and
So
I was
you left that night?
I left that night with nowhere to go.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I wouldn't pour water on her. She was standing next to me on fire.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Catherine Pinkham is suing a former friend and roommate, Chandra Crawford, because Chandra and her fiancé kicked her out of their apartment. Chandra and Tom say Catherine violated the terms of the lease.
All right, so far I have $1,350 for security deposit. What else are you suing for? Because
Okay.
the total lawsuit is $1,700.
Okay, I'm also suing for moving expenses for the truck that I had to rent the second day when I went back to get my things.
How much was that?
That's $153.
Mm-hmm.
and then another $153 for storage.
What
I had to
storage
get a
for what?
storage unit to put my things in. I was afraid they were going to be trashed, so I went back the following day with the police to get my things.
All right, Miss Crawford, first of all, where is Dream Boy?
Your Honor,
Where is he?
he's at work.
Got a job?
Yes, ma'am.
When did he get a job?
He was employed the day after she left. She left on a Sunday. He went to work that Monday.
Did he send her any money?
The arrangements to pay her back was between her and I.
So did you send her any money?
I tried to contact her, Your Honor. She never returned my phone calls. She never, after September 29th was the last time I spoke to her on the phone when she called me at work. I said, call me next week, I will make arrangements. She never bothered calling me back. She never left me a forwarding address. I tried on 3 separate occasions.
Did you feel badly about it?
Yeah, I felt horrible. We were best friends for 8 years. I mean, honestly, I really did not know this was going to happen.
But let me ask you this question. Tom clearly, when she was living there, was not employed and was home a good deal of the time, right?
Yes, ma'am.
How long was it that he wasn't employed full-time, that you were supporting him?
Your Honor, I wasn't supporting him.
Who was?
He had part-time work.
Not when
and
she
it was
was
about
there.
3 months total.
So it was
but
about
I was
3
not
months.
supporting him. He was drawing off his savings.
So he had savings?
Yeah.
So why didn't he put in the money for his share of the security deposit from his savings instead of asking a stranger for it?
I asked her for it, Your Honor, because we were friends.
But that's not fair. If you have a boyfriend who's got savings, why should you ask her to dip into her meager savings to pay for him? Did you know that Tom had savings?
I did not know that.
Did Tom know that you asked her for money?
Yes, ma'am, he did.
How old is he?
26.
Does he have children?
Yes, ma'am, he does.
How many?
2.
How did I know that? Do you have children?
No, I don't.
How old are you?
28.
Mm-hmm. Where are Tom's children?
His wife and he have joint custody. They're with their mother most of the time.
Was he sending support for his children?
Yes, he was.
When he wasn't working?
Yes, he was. He was drawing it out of his savings.
I don't believe that. Miss Crawford, how long have you been with Tom?
About 6 months.
Keep your eyes open.
Judge Judy is ready to rule.
All right, there is no question. I believe her that you threw her out of the house. According to your own answer, you pretty much say, I had to make a choice. Tom or her. I mean, you go through a lot of things here when you say, well, she didn't follow the rules and everything else. But I think that you know that you owe her this money. It's clear to me that your boyfriend clearly didn't like sharing his home with someone who was disapproving of the way he was behaving, especially the way he was treating you. You probably did things that irritated Tom, and that he's had a sense from the way you were acting that you were disapproving. So I can understand him not particularly liking you.
So can I.
But you can't throw her out of the house. You made that choice, so now you got to pay her. Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff for the amount requested in the complaint, which is $1,782. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
हमारे प्यारे वरिष्ठ नागरिक भाइयों और बहनों, नमस्कार। आज की यह वीडियो देखना आपके लिए बहुत ज़रूरी है, खासकर अगर आप 60, 65, 70 साल के हैं या आपके घर में कोई रिटायर्ड बुजुर्ग है, क्योंकि आज 24 मई 2026 को जो खबर आई है वो आपकी हर महीने मिलने वाली पेंशन को सीधे प्रभावित करती है। जो लोग EPFO से पेंशन पाते हैं, चाहे वो EPS 95 की 1000 रुपये वाली पेंशन हो या हायर पेंशन हो, आज उनके लिए सुप्रीम कोर्ट और DA यानी महंगाई राहत को लेकर एक बड़ा अपडेट है। और सच कहूं तो यह वो खबर है जिसका लाखों परिवार सालों से इंतजार कर रहे थे। आप सोचते होंगे होंगे, हमने तो 30-35 साल नौकरी की, ईमानदारी से पीएफ कटवाया, लेकिन हर महीने 1000 रुपये पेंशन में घर कैसे चलाएं? दवाइयाँ, बिजली का बिल, राशन सब महंगा हो गया है। आपका दर्द सच्चा है और इसीलिए आज हम सब कुछ खुलकर बताएंगे, एक सच्चे दोस्त की तरह जो आपके घर में बैठकर सब समझाए। सबसे पहले बात करते हैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट की। ईपीएस 95 पेंशनर्स बरसों से मांग करते रहे हैं कि उनकी न्यूनतम पेंशन 1000 रुपये से बढ़ाकर कम से कम 7500 रुपये प्रतिमाह की जाए और उस पर डीए भी मिले। इस मामले में सुप्रीम कोर्ट में लगातार सुनवाई हो रही है। अब तक की स्थिति यह है कि सरकार को कोर्ट की ओर से जवाब देने के लिए कहा जा चुका है। अगली सुनवाई में यह फैसला और स्पष्ट हो सकता है। अगर आप ईपीएस 95 पेंशनर हैं तो यह समझ लीजिए, यदि सुप्रीम कोर्ट पेंशन बढ़ाने का आदेश देता है तो आपको न केवल आगे की बढ़ी हुई पेंशन मिलेगी बल्कि एरियर यानी पिछले महीनों का बकाया भी मिल सकता है। इसीलिए अपने ईपीएफओ अकाउंट को अपडेट रखना आज सबसे जरूरी काम है। अब बात करते हैं डीए की। डीए यानी डियरनेस अलाउंस या महंगाई राहत, यह उन सरकारी कर्मचारियों और पेंशनर्स को मिलता है जो केंद्र सरकार की पेंशन पाते हैं। जनवरी 2026 से डीए में 2% की ओर बढ़ोतरी हुई है, जिससे अब कुल डीए 55% हो गया है। यानी जिनकी बेसिक पेंशन 20,000 रुपये है, उन्हें डीए मिलाकर 11,000 रुपये अतिरिक्त हर महीने मिल रहे हैं, कुल 31,000 रुपये से ज्यादा। लेकिन यह लाभ सिर्फ सरकारी पेंशनर्स को है। ईपीएफओ के ईपीएस पेंशनर्स को अभी तक डीए नहीं मिलता और यही सबसे बड़ी असमानता है जिसके लिए सुप्रीम कोर्ट में लड़ाई चल रही है। जो लोग ईपीएफओ की हायर पेंशन के लिए आवेदन कर चुके हैं, उनके लिए भी एक जरूरी बात, बहुत सारे लोगों के डॉक्यूमेंट्स अभी भी पेंडिंग हैं। ईपीएफओ ने हाल ही में कहा है कि जिनके जॉइंट ऑप्शंस वेरीफाई नहीं हुए, उन्हें फिर से ईपीएफओ कार्यालय जाना होगा। अगर आपका आवेदन 6 महीने से ज्यादा समय से लंबित है और कोई एसएमएस या लेटर नहीं आया, तो तुरंत अपने यूएएन नंबर से ईपीएफओ पोर्टल पर स्टेटस चेक करें। एक जरूरी काम, अपने बैंक अकाउंट का आईपीएफओ से वेरिफिकेशन जरूर करवाएं, क्योंकि अगर बैंक अकाउंट वेरीफाइड नहीं है तो पेंशन की राशि अटक जाती है, चाहे कोर्ट ऑर्डर कितना भी अच्छा क्यों न हो। अब बात करते हैं उन लाभों की जो बहुत से बुजुर्गों को पता ही नहीं। अगर आपकी उम्र 60 साल से ज्यादा है और पोस्ट ऑफिस में सीनियर सिटीजन सेविंग्स स्कीम है, तो इस वक्त उस पर 8.2% ब्याज मिल रहा है। यह देश में सबसे सुरक्षित और सबसे ज्यादा ब्याज देने वाले विकल्पों में से एक है। 5 लाख रुपए जमा करने पर हर 3 महीने में लगभग 10,250 रुपए आपके खाते में आएंगे। पीएमवीवीवाई यानी प्रधानमंत्री वया वंदन योजना, अगर आपने इसमें निवेश किया है तो आपको 7.4% गारंटीड रिटर्न मिलता है। इसमें 15 लाख रुपए की अधिकतम सीमा है। विधवा महिलाओं के लिए विधवा पेंशन योजना के तहत हर राज्य में 500 रुपए से 1,500 रुपए तक मासिक पेंशन मिलती है। इसके लिए नजदीकी सीएससी सेंटर पर जाकर आवेदन किया जा सकता है। पेंशन पर टैक्स का सवाल भी बहुत लोग पूछते हैं। यदि आपकी कुल सालाना आय 3 लाख रुपए से कम है और आपकी उम्र 60 साल से ऊपर है, तो आपको कोई इनकम टैक्स नहीं देना है। 80 साल से ऊपर के नागरिकों के लिए यह सीमा 5 लाख रुपए है। अपने बैंक से फॉर्म 15H जरूर भर कर दें, इससे टीडीएस नहीं कटेगा। आप लोगों ने अपनी पूरी जवानी देश के लिए, परिवार के लिए लगाई है। आपका हक है कि आपको हर 1 रुपया मिले जो आपका बनता है। इसलिए ये वीडियो अपने घर के हर बुजुर्ग को दिखाएं। चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें ताकि अगला अपडेट सबसे पहले आप तक पहुंचे। और नीचे कमेंट में जरूर बताएं आपकी पेंशन अभी कितनी आ रही है। हम आपके साथ हैं हमेशा।